Kerry, good to see you. How you doing? What up, Miles? How you doing, Kerry? How you been? Camel, good to see you, brother. How you doing? Theos, how you doing? I'm doing great. How you doing? How you been? Glenn, good to see you as well. How you doing? How you been? Paul, good to see you as well. How you doing? How you been? Dale, good to see you as well. Hello, champion. How you doing, Dale? How you been? Dennis, good to see you as well. How you doing? Hi, Miles, the CMF. Let's go, Dennis. How you been? Good evening, Professor Miles and the rest of the CMF students. Let's go, Dennis. How you doing? Let's go, Funky Brother. How you doing? Free and Feather, good to see you as well. How you doing? Good evening. Good night, Miles, the CMF. Evening, Miles, the CMF. Manny, good to see you as well. How you doing? Pablo, good to see you as well. How you doing? David, good evening, Miles, the CMF. Good to see you as well. David, how you doing? How you been? Woodhouse, good to see you as well, brother. How you doing? Miles, why is XRP dropping in price? Because confidence and frustration is getting to people, which means they're selling their positions. And it's also because of too much misinformation inside the crypto space. Is the SEC case now closed, giving us first green light? Yes, technically the SEC case is with Ripple is closed up until they pay the payment and the 60-day period passes where the SEC can still appeal. Not saying that, look, even if I said this previously as well, even if they do appeal, it's going to get rejected, but it will cause some volatility stages on the price point. But so first Ripple needs to pay the payment. And then there's that 60-day period where starting when the case was judged until now, few days have went past, but 60 days period needs to pass, so the SEC can't appeal that scenario. Shelly, good to see you all morning. How you doing? So technically, yes, the first green light is there. And good to see you all, Shelly. How you doing? So by the time everyone tunes in, let's go through a gist of what we're going to talk about tonight's live show, and we'll do the intro, disclaimer. And by that time, everyone's tuned in for the first part of the live show. So welcome to the CMF Live Show. If you're watching this for the first time ever, welcome to the CMF Live Show. The CMF stands for Crypto Miles Family, and on this live show every single night, I talk about the most recent things that's happening around the world in terms of cryptocurrencies, CBDCs, AI, politics, regulations, things that matter on this world, essentially switching over to a complete digital world. And the disclaimer of this live show, as always, is not financial advice, not political advice, and whatever I say is only for entertainment purposes. And also a shout out to our sponsors on this live show, our partnerships that I do have, which is one with BingX Exchange. They're giving anybody $100 if you use BingX Exchange and do a KYC, and you can enter multiple competitions if you're a member of this live show with BingX Exchange. You can also get a Tangent wallet to protect your assets and get 10% discounts if you watch this live show as well, and use code CryptoMiles, you get 10% off. Now, to go through a gist of what we're going to talk about tonight's live show is this. So we're going to talk about the city of Santa Monica and how they're launching a Bitcoin office. Now, recently I revealed that essentially Dubai is going to be creating this blockchain hub that's going to remain in Dubai and teach essentially about Web3, blockchain, technology, and so many other aspects. And so many venture capitals are going to be there. It's not like a pop-up event. It's an event that's going to stay in Dubai essentially for a lifetime. So Santa Monica is going to be introducing something similar inside the United States. We're also going to talk about tonight's live show regarding the UK government and how the UK government has essentially been promoting and pumping quite a lot of AI projects. The UK government has invested about £32 million so far. 32 million British pounds have been invested into AI projects so far. We're going to go through what they've been investing into. We're also going to be talking about tonight's live show regarding Ripple as well, regarding their new stable coin that they're doing testings on. We're also going to be talking about the SEC latest sanctions on the cryptocurrency market, which is an announcement that was made, and that essentially they're not giving up. The SEC has decided to fixate their attention towards other things rather than Ripple by the looks of it, which is a good sign. Now, we're also going to be talking about tonight's live show regarding JP Morgan Chase, essentially introducing a generative AI assistant to employees. We're also going to be talking about tonight's live show regarding the UK regulators, FCA, Financial Conduct Authority, clamping down on the crypto space with 1,000 notices and a $4.5 million fine. We're also going to be going through on tonight's live show regarding the MiCA regulations. Now, the MiCA regulations, obviously based in the EU, they do have a set of regulations that are being, essentially implemented as we go along. We're going to be talking about some things that Tether's CEO doesn't like about the MiCA regulations. And I'll give you my perspective on that matter as well regarding USDT. Now, we're also going to be talking about tonight's live show. We're going to be going through the options exchange CBO and how they've resubmitted their applications to list options on spot Bitcoin exchange traded funds. We're going to be going through on tonight's live show regarding Thailand as well. Thailand's SEC launches a sandbox to boost digital asset innovation in Thailand. We're going to be talking about tonight's live show regarding Hong Kong as well, and how Hong Kong lawmakers are essentially reconstructing their banking structure to make it essentially support crypto and Web3 companies. So the banking structure in Hong Kong is going under some construction, you could say, where they're changing around regulations so that banks and crypto can come together in Hong Kong. We're going to be talking about tonight's live show also about Grayscale Investments unveiling their new AI and blockchain crypto trust funds. So those are essentially the topics we're going to be going through on tonight's live show. We're also going to be talking about the IRS as well on tonight's live show regarding taxation on cryptocurrencies, which is quite a big topic for crypto users on their taxations. We're going to be talking about that as well on tonight's live show. So quite a mixture of news to go through regarding the IRS, Thailand, Hong Kong banking structures, MiCA regulations, the United Kingdom regulations, and some other perspectives. JP Morgan to go through on tonight's live show as well. The SEC's focus has shifted from Ripple to something else now as well, which is all good things and good signs to see. Now, before we go through the first news on tonight's live show, which is about Santa Monica, essentially based on the United States, they're launching a new Bitcoin office. So before we go through that, let's go to the comment section first. But welcome to the CMF live show. If you're watching this for the first time ever, and if you're regular, let's go CMF. And the disclaimer of this live show, as always, is not financial advice, not political advice, and whatever I say is only for entertainment purposes. So welcome to the CMF live show. The live show has officially started now, but before we go through the first news, let's go to the comment section first. Let's see if there's any questions to go through. Annoyed had to cancel an order, then had to pay $60 of fees for transactions, so lost money and now have a day to pay back. But myself, okay, let's go with us. Evening, Miles and CMF. Joe, good to see you. How you doing? How you been? Good evening, everyone. Denise, good to see you. How you doing? How you been? Does anyone know how to send a scheduled WhatsApp message? I need to WhatsApp someone 7 a.m. for wake-up calls. Good evening, Miles. Same, good to see you. How you doing? Hey, Miles, when do you think the SEC will appeal? Do I think the SEC is going to appeal? Look, knowing Gary Gensler, he does hold some sort of grudges inside the crypto space. You could tell. Gary Gensler is not the type of man that does any sort of movements based on, absolute logic or within the law. He likes to cut corners. And ironically, Gary Gensler calls his opponents, the crypto platforms, that they cut corners. But ironically, it's Gary Gensler that cuts corners, and he's been called out on it many times by different judges. So do I think Gary Gensler is going to appeal? There's a possibility. Now, is his appeal going to get accepted or rejected is the most important factor. And it's going to get rejected. But by the looks of it, also, the SEC's essentially attention has drifted over from Ripple to something else. So the SEC is actually going after 3 different platforms, which you're going to go for on tonight's live show. So it looks like the SEC has decided not to fixate anymore on Ripple and decided to go after something else. I think they know it's a losing battle for them now. Same, good to see you. How you doing? Good evening, Miles. Because the SEC was expecting a big payout, and at the end, they never got that big payout, and they thought, well, what's the point of even going after them again? Hey, Miles, how you doing? I'm doing great, Daniel. How you doing? How you been? Let's see where we were. What's going to the market? What's going on to the market today? Well, we're going to go through that on this live show. Quite a mixture of news to go through. Hello, Miles and CMF family. Anna, good to see you. How you doing? How you been? By the way, thank you so much to everyone that's been retweeting and liking this live show right at the beginning on X and also on YouTube. So, Santa Monica. The city of Santa Monica launches a Bitcoin office and plans an October festival. The city of Santa Monica, California, has created a Bitcoin office to provide education, essentially identities regarding economic opportunities, and solidify the city's position as a hub for Bitcoin innovation. The office is working closely with Proof of Workforces, a non-profit organization focused on Bitcoin education for the workforce, unions, and pension funds. The new city office was created as a unanimous vote by the Santa Monica City Council. The office's webpage appeared on the city's website on the evening of August 8th. Although the office's webpage does not suggest any concrete measures, the city will host a Bitcoin festival also in October, an educational and promotional effort. The Santa Monica Bitcoin Office is an educative-based community initiative coordinated by the Proof of Workforce Foundations, not financial advice, in other words, according to its X profile. The office webpage contains a lengthy disclaimer warning readers of the risk of cryptocurrency investments. It specified, in addition to providing education, the Bitcoin office mission is also focused on identifying and facilitating Bitcoin industry partnerships that actively support Santa Monica's economic recovery and cultivate new development opportunities. The Proof of Workforce Foundation was founded by Santa Monica's firefighters and former firefighters union president Dominic. And the organization, which has a 501c4 nonprofit tax status, aims to empower unions, workers, and organizations to discover ways in which Bitcoin can enhance their mission and well-being. It is not required to disclose its donors. The nonprofit is not charging the city for its coordination efforts. A Bitcoin festival is also revived. The city is promoting the Bitcoin peer-to-peer festival, which seems to be related to the event, was intended to be sponsored by Swan Bitcoin. And Swan also announced that it was canceling specific Bitcoin festivals to be held in Santa Monica on the heels of staff reductions. The two-day event planned by Swan would be replaced by more modest events on October 17th, the company said. The event being promoted by the city is scheduled for October 18th. So it's honestly absolutely amazing to see that former firefighters are coming forward, creating a Bitcoin non-profit in the city of Santa Monica with the Council of Santa Monica as well, and bringing Bitcoin education, blockchain education to workforces, the people that are working in unions, workforces, police officers, former firefighters, former nurses and doctors and so on. These are the type of people they're aiming for to teach them about blockchain technology. And these are former firefighters coming together to do this massive organization, an organization that's going to stay within Santa Monica with the help of the council, which is absolutely amazing to see, honestly. Now, UK government. The UK government pumps £32 million into AI projects. So not only is the UK government still aiming to become a blockchain hub, but they're also aiming to become some sort of an AI hub as well, by the looks of it. So the UK government has pumped £32 million into AI projects. The UK government investing £32 million into 98 artificial intelligence projects. The funding aims to increase productivity, promote economic growth through the development of AI across different industries. Selected projects include businesses and research organizations from Southampton to Belfast and Birmingham, with over 200 organizations involved. They are working on various applications such as enhancing safety on construction sites, optimizing electric vehicle motors, and reducing supply chain emissions. UK enhances construction safety with transportation with AI technology. One of the beneficiaries, VLab Limited, received £165,000 to develop a software that uses artificial intelligence in training construction workers. Through their vital reality-based risk assessment and safety protocols, they will ensure that enough skilled workers for future infrastructure projects. Another company based in Cambridge called Mono was given £750,000 to build a 3D generative AI tool that is set to improve electric vehicle motor designs. This will contribute to the sustainability in commercial transportation, flight, and power generations. Atom, located in Nottingham, is working with NHS service providers and retailers on an algorithm project-based prescription delivery. The main objective here is to find which deliveries should be made along with the routes to reduce time wastage. This will improve efficiency and also reduce carbon emissions and improve patient experiences. In another case related to railway hacks, Hack Partner is currently working on an autonomous system that watch over railway infrastructures while managing them. This project, driven by AI technology, seeks to out defects, ensure safety, and enhance service delivery for rail users. AI revolutionizes logistics and retail. Robic Limited is developing Seagull AI, which will monitor resourcing and essentially find productivity bottlenecks in warehouses. Kelp Technologies is also working on real-time pricing for second-hand clothes, partnering with fashion retailers Depop and Selfridges. They are set to deal with complexities of price second-hand apparels while considering market trends at the same time. The scheme hopes to develop the used clothing market, cut down on population caused by waste disposal sites, and reduce greenhouse emissions. Minister for Digital Government AI, essentially Alfred Clark, talked up the power of transformation that lies within artificial intelligence, saying that this funding will be used on projects like reducing train delays, smarter infrastructures, maintenances, or better systems for delivering prescriptions, she said. She also went on to say, AI will deliver real change for working people across the UK, not only growing our economy, but improving our public services. The UK RI Technology Missions Fund backs the projects as a part of the support from the innovative UK Bridge AI program. This includes training opportunities, scientific knowledge sharing, advice on artificial intelligence, and more cooperation between companies and developers. Okay, so the UK is pretty much going full frontal on this whole AI adventure they're going down right now, by investing up to £32 million so far into AI technology, but also covering quite a lot of areas using AI technology. So far, no blockchain projects were using these AI ventures, but we don't know for sure due to the amount of companies. We're talking about essentially 98 AI projects or 200 organizations. So we will have to sit down, essentially go through those 200 organizations, obviously not on this live show, but I could put inside a Telegram group of this live show of the 200 organizations that are helping the UK government, and they're all AI companies helping the UK government to bring innovation. So we'll have to see who are they partnered with. Are they developing their own artificial intelligence? Or are they using a public blockchain? But I'll get some updates on that matter as well. But either way, UK government is going full frontal on AI technology. £32 million so far invested into 200 organizations, all AI projects to help innovate the United Kingdom. Massive, honestly. Now, Ripple is the next news to go for on tonight's live show. But before we go through that, let's go to the comment section first. Let's see where we were on tonight's live show. Let's see where we were. Happy Pisces, good to see you as well. How you doing? How you been? Hey, Miles of CMF, good to see you as well. Below, how you doing? Any XRP news? Yes, we do. I was about to go through right now. Good Friday. May I ask your thoughts on XRP? Hicks, how you doing? Yes, you can ask my thoughts on XRP. Do I think XRP, I'll make it very simple. Do I think XRP is a good project? Yes, XRP is a good project. Look, it's very simple. A lot of people would criticize XRP for not moving too quickly enough, or for not moving enough after this case has just, come to some sort of an agreement where they've just reached their first green lights. Now, putting the price action to one side and just sticking to the facts. So the whole world is pretty much 98% of centralized banks are in CBDCs. Now, that's a fact by the International Monetary Fund, and the Bank of International Settlements also backs that. So 98% of the world, 98% of centralized banks are in CBDCs. Either they're in testing stages, research stages, implementation testing stages, or getting ready to release. But 98% of centralized banks are in CBDCs. So we have 24,000 crypto projects. And we have so much competition in AI sectors and the crypto space, gaming sectors, Web3 sector, data sectors, and so on. But there's only one project that actually has a CBDC platform out of 24,000 crypto projects. There's only one platform that has a CBDC platform that's being used. There's only one project inside the whole crypto space, essentially, that has multiple CBDC awards. Most people don't even know that they give out CBDC awards. Ripple has multiple CBDC awards. They have the only platform that is a CBDC platform that is actually being implemented and used. They're also on the list of the Bank of International Settlements PDF document, public information titled Cross-Border Payments. They're right under SWIFT. Now, a lot of people would also argue that Ripple is Ripple, XRP is XRP, and they're two different things. Even though many people from Ripple themselves have came out and said XRP is Ripple, Ripple's XRP. But we also have a PDF document and a blog post on Ripple's own website by Monica Long, the CEO of Ripple, which states that how they're going to be using XRP through their Ripple payments that most people claim inside the crypto space that they're not going to. But Ripple states they are. And they actually mentioned that XRP plays a vital role in what Ripple's going to bring to the table. Now, Ripple is also going to be going after the financial system. They've said this multiple times, and being on the list of the Bank of International Settlements proves that answer. Also, the Bank of International Settlements being the banks of 63 centralized banks, including G20 and G7 countries, we're talking about a very big, large-scale movement. So 24,000 crypto projects, 24,000 crypto projects, and only one has essentially a CBDC platform. Only one has multiple CBDC awards, and only one is on the list for Bank of International Settlements titled Cross-Border Payments. So you can look at price action, not saying you are, but most people inside the crypto space, on XRP especially, they can look at price action all day long if they wanted to. But the facts are the facts. And I always say this, everybody's entitled to an opinion, but opinions are not correct, and facts are facts for a reason. So 24,000 crypto projects, and only one is in CBDCs. 98% of the world of centralized banks are in CBDCs. That's data from the International Monetary Fund and the Bank of International Settlements. So what's my thoughts on XRP? It's going to revolutionize the financial system. Hope that helps. Good evening, Miles and CMF. TB, good to see you. How you doing? So Hick, I hope that helps. On your question of Good Friday, may I ask your thoughts on XRP? Woodhouse, let's go. How are you, Miles? I'm doing great, Lena. How you doing? Good evening, Miles and CMF. Tanner, good to see you. How you doing? How you been? Now, on the topic of Ripple, ironically, Ripple begins testing new stablecoin on Ethereum and XRP Ledger. Ripple has initiated a beta testing for its newly developed stablecoin, Ripple USD RLUSD, on the Ethereum mainnet and the XRP Ledger. This crucial phase brings together Ripple's enterprise partners to rigorously essentially evaluate the stablecoin's security, efficiency, and reliability, ensuring it meets a standards before a wider release. The initiative is crucial for meeting high operational standards before RLUSD becomes broadly available, pending regulatory approvals as well. In April, Ripple essentially revealed plans to penetrate the burgeoning stablecoin market space, currently valued at $160 billion. Analysts from broker Bernstein Project essentially said that this market could escalate to $2.8 trillion by 2028. Dominated by prominent players like Tether's USDT and Circle's USDC, Ripple's entry with its US dollar-pegged RLUSD introduces a new competitive element, promising to enhance the diversity and resilience of stablecoin offerings in the global economy. Ripple USD has a good financial backing by short-term US Treasury bills, dollar deposits, and other forms of cash equivalents. To strengthen the accountability, Ripple has also pledged to release the reports audited by independent accounting firms every month. Furthermore, the company will issue monthly essential citations, reinforcing its commitment to operational transparency and stakeholder trust for their stablecoin RLUSD. While RLUSD is not yet available for trading due to pending regulatory approvals, Ripple Street plans involves its corporations into the global payment services, alongside its existing cryptocurrency XRP. This approach aims to facilitate seamless, efficient global transactions, expanding Ripple's footprint in the international payment landscape. The successful deployment and integration of RLUSD could significantly impact the financial transactions, making them more accessible and less resilient on traditional banking systems. Ripple's proactive steps forward towards launching its own stablecoin signifies a significant enhancement in the financial technology sector by ensuring a rigorous testing commitment to security and adherence to regulatory standards. Ripple aims to set a new benchmark in the stablecoin market, promising a stable, reliable, and transparent digital asset currency option for global users. So, Ripple releasing their slowly getting to a stage to release their stablecoin, but they are doing their testings on Ethereum and essentially the XRP ledger. Massive, honestly. If they're doing testings as of now, it means that this case they can put them behind them, and they are putting this case behind them and moving forward, which is absolutely amazing to see, honestly. And regarding Ripple's stablecoin coming out inside the market space, now the number one stablecoin without a doubt is USDT, Tether, and the number two pretty much is USDC. Now, is Ripple going to have massive competition with Tether and USDC? Essentially, not really, because USDC isn't a great stablecoin. There's a reason why nobody pretty much uses USDC due to its depegging situation that happened a long time ago. Now, a lot of people obviously would argue the factor and the point that USDC depegged a very long time ago and it's not relevant as of now. For me, it is. If a project has depegged once, there's a likelihood of it happening somewhere down the line again, and I don't want to be a part of it for the second time. Now, on the topic of USDT remaining the top crown table, Not really, because USDT can't operate in the EU under MiCA regulations, which means as of now already, USDT is slowly losing market share in the EU, which is one of the biggest spaces out there. And USDC is actually increasing in that space because USDC wants to be compliant with MiCA regulations inside the EU. However, USDT Tether does not want to be compliant. And it's very simple. USDT Tether is going to be their own downfall. Now, a lot of people would argue that the US is going to go after Tether and USDT, which is a valid point, because Tether is not an American company in any sort of a way, and they don't really have a headquarters in a sense, and there are some rumors that they are backed by China and have some Chinese investors or so on. Either way, the biggest stablecoin inside the cryptocurrency space is a US dollar stablecoin, and it's not an American company. Where do you think that's going to go for Tether? Not very well in the long term. And also, Tether has a difficulty of showing transparency. They claim to have a lot of assets backing their cryptocurrencies. However, Tether was also fined once in court for lying about what's backing their assets. Nobody knows about that either because it happened a very long time ago. But they did lie once about backing their asset up to a substantial amount, which they didn't really have in reality. They paid a very small fine for it in the millions. But that's what's happened as well. So USDC has depegged once, which is more than once, which is more than enough to not go towards it. And Tether has an issue with transparency, hence why they can't be listed in the EU to be used by anyone. So is it really going to be a difficult task for Ripple stablecoin to take over? Not really. Tether is going to be their own downfall, and USDC has depegged once. There's a reason why nobody uses USDC. Everybody uses USDT. So honestly, personal preference, it's not going to be difficult for Ripple to take over the stablecoin market at all. Hate Ripple or love Ripple, you know for a fact Ripple has money. And you know for a fact they're going to be able to back that asset on a 1-to-1 ratio. Not only that, but Ripple is going to show full transparency every month, which is useful for the MiCA regulations based out of EU, because the EU states that, one, you have to show transparency for your stablecoin to be used in the EU, which I think is a great law. Imagine EU businesses, massive corporations, medium corporations, small corporations, or even the retail section of the EU using USDT. And one day it turns out that USDT doesn't really have the backings it has, which means the entire economy of the EU, depending on how much USDT they're using, goes down the toilet, which I fully understand why the MiCA regulation has stated that they want full transparency. And Tether is not showing transparency at all. So Ripple taking over, it's quite easy actually. Their stablecoin can take over Tether easily, not overnight, but over time. And as it gets phased out by different market spaces, one is the EU, the next is probably going to be the US. The US will phase out USDT, so will Canada, so will Australia, and other countries will follow in suit, just the same as the EU, in other words. And USDC, I mean, USDC is not even a competition to anybody. So Ripple can take over both of those stablecoins. And just to also put it into a fact of how scared Tether was of the Ripple stablecoin announcements. Ripple, when they announced that they're coming out with a stablecoin, see that we have multiple stablecoins inside the crypto space. Then it's not just USDT and USDC. We have FDUSD. We have so many different types of stablecoins that are coming out or already on the market space. And Tether has never been worried about any stablecoin. So we've had multiple stablecoin releases. Binance has created multiple stablecoins, and Tether has never been worried about any of them. But the moment that Ripple announced they're coming out with a stablecoin, Tether's essentially asset managers tweeted out on X, their tweet is still there, and they tweeted out saying that, you know, USDT is still the king. It doesn't matter if anybody else comes out with a stablecoin, we still remain number one, and so on. That is not essentially any sign of strength. That's a sign of weakness, because they've never tweeted about any of the stablecoin coming out. But the moment Ripple comes out with a stablecoin, they tweet about it and say, we are still number one. Everybody should use USDT, and so on. That's a sign of weakness, not a sign of strength. They're actually scared, because they know that Ripple stablecoin will crush them in the long term. Do you know why? Transparency. Maybe if Tether had transparency, they wouldn't get scared. Now, the next news on tonight's live show. Is the SEC still fixed on Ripple, or have they moved on? Is pretty much the number one question inside the crypto space right now. Is the SEC going to appeal? Is the SEC still going to go after Ripple? And so on. The question and the answer to that is no. By the looks of it, the SEC has decided to go after other crypto things inside the crypto space, and by the looks of it, doesn't look like they're going to be going after them anymore. So the SEC's latest sanctions on the cryptocurrency market is announced, and they're not giving up. But it's not about Ripple, it's about other crypto projects. The US Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, has issued multiple subpoenas to at least 3 crypto ventures capital companies, VC, this year, signaling an escalation in its scrutiny of digital asset sectors. According to a source close to the investigation, the subpoenas were a part of an ongoing effort to determine whether federal securities laws were violated inside of the cryptocurrency space. One of the subpoenas was titled "Concerning Certain Crypto Asset Offerings Intermediaries." The document stated that the SEC staff were essentially conducting an investigation into determine whether there had been violations of federal security laws or not within these VC companies. This latest development suggests that the SEC's focus is expanding to include the very beginnings of crypto capital flows. The venture capitalists who provided initial fundings for most crypto startups. The fact that there are at least 2 other crypto VCs have also received similar documents requests suggests that the SEC is taking on board approach in its investigation. The source said that the subpoenas demanded that the VCs turn over contracts related to the token deals they were involved in. An attorney representing a crypto VC that was not affected by the subpoenas described the SEC's actions as overly broad investigation drive and noted that the high costs associated with the compliance. Now, Corp, an attorney specializing in securities and commodities fraud at Bradley Arendt Bolt Cummings law firm, said that the SEC increased scrutiny on VCs is a logic next step in its enforcement efforts. This is a neutral additional area of enforcement that the SEC would consider pursuing, Corp said. In July, Ari Paul, Chief Investment Officer of Institutional Investors of Block Tower Capital, mentioned during a podcast that the SEC was investing crypto VCs. So back in July, it was pretty much announced on a podcast that, Gary Gensler and his team of morons did decide to start slowly investing in VC companies, and it comes out today that they are subpoenaing them. A similar, essentially, source familiar with the SEC investigation suggested that the regulator is particularly interested in whether crypto VCs are serving as brokers for unregistered securities, effectively releasing them into the retail market under the use of accredited investors' exemptions. Such practices, if proven, could threaten the initial issuance of these tokens and complicate the SEC's regulatory oversight. So it looks like the SEC has decided to shift their focus from going after crypto platforms or even continuing with Ripple, and they've decided to go after the VC companies that funded crypto projects since day one instead. So they've decided to focus on the roots of cryptocurrencies, where the money came from to start up these crypto company ventures, rather than maybe going after the cases that they still have on their tables. Which honestly is good to see, but Gary Gensler is an absolute waste of space, an absolute waste of time. And his job is going to be, he's going to lose his job very soon. Either party who wins, if Trump wins and becomes the next president of the United States, Gary Gensler's lost his job. If Kamala Harris wins, he's lost his job regarding Gary Gensler. If RF Kennedy Jr. wins, Gary Gensler has also lost his job as well. Whoever wins as the next president, he has lost his job. And Gary Gensler is fully aware of this, so he's trying to squeeze and essentially annoy the crypto space one last time before he's out the door. Even congressmen don't like Gary Gensler. And I revealed once this as well, that congressmen essentially tried to once reduce Gary Gensler's wages to $1. That's not even a joke. That's actually something that they were discussing, where congressmen came together and decided that because they can't remove Gary Gensler from his position, only an act of a presidency can, they decided to maybe reduce his wages to $1, which, doesn't make him, essentially leave the job, but it does make his job a miserable job. Imagine going up to work and only getting paid $1. Now, obviously that bill didn't pass, but I wish it did, because it would have been absolutely hilarious. Now, JP Morgan, but it just proves that nobody likes Gary Gensler. Presidents don't like Gary Gensler. Congressmen don't like Gary Gensler. Nobody's behind this man, except his girlfriend, Elizabeth Warren, and the other moron inside the FIDIC who's also backing Gary Gensler. Other than his girlfriend, Elizabeth Warren, and the other one, nobody else is behind Gary Gensler. And he's fully aware that he's about to lose his job, whoever the next president is. But now his focus is on VC companies, not crypto platforms anymore, which is a good sign. But he is still going to be annoying. But also, a lot of people don't know this either, that Gary Gensler has earned roughly about $100 million. Since his day one into office until now, Gary Gensler has earned roughly about $100 million. Now, obviously, his wages aren't that high. So he's been making money some other way. And it's definitely not from his wages. Is it under the table deals? Probably. Now, JP Morgan Chase is the next news to go from tonight's live show. JP Morgan Chase has decided to introduce generative AI assistant to their employees. Before we go through that, let's go inside the comment section first. Let's see where we were. We were at here. By the way, I know this is a live, show. So if you do have any questions, put it down in the comment section. I do live Q&As. Hi, Miles of CMF, listening. Let's go, Mav. How you doing? Tanner, how you doing? How you been? Lena, good to see you as well. How you doing? How you been? How are you, Miles? I'm doing great. Good evening, Miles of CMF. Tanner, let's go. How you doing? And Mav, good to see you as well. Hi, CMF. I'm listening. So, Shelly, what's your thoughts that Elon and Trump have an interview and Trump Jr. has a project he wants to launch? Could this have anything to do with X? Great question. So, as far as I'm aware, Junior Trump, basically, he's going to be launching some sort of a DeFi platform, is what's said. Now, a lot of people thought he was going to release a meme coin. So there was a meme coin that was released, and everybody thought that was his project. And in reality, it wasn't. But it's like father, like son. I mean, his father has 3 NFT projects. It makes sense his son wants to go essentially into cryptocurrencies. Now, he did mention that he wants to challenge the banking systems, essentially, traditional banking systems, by introducing a DeFi platform. Not just a crypto project or a meme coin, but a DeFi platform is what he wants to introduce to go up against traditional banking systems, which, amazing. Honestly, I hope he pulls it off, and it will definitely be a project that I will be sharing on updates on this live show, because, I mean, it's a big name, the Trump family coming inside the crypto sector, creating a DeFi system to go against the traditional banking systems. It's definitely going to be big news. I'll definitely follow up on it to see where it essentially reaches to. Now, on the topic of Elon Musk and Trump coming together for an interview, which is, I revealed as well, absolutely amazing news. Do I think this has some sort of relevance? Elon Musk, Trump, and Trump Jr. with the X, essentially X creating digital platform for payments. There's a possibility of some sort of relevance there, or maybe no relevance at all. And it's just the timing is quite interesting about the topic of Trump Jr. introducing a DeFi platform, and then his father and Elon are coming together essentially on a sit down to have an interview. The timing is quite interesting, I would have to say. There could be coincidence there, or they could just be coordinated movements. So I'll definitely update everyone on that matter. So we get fantastic news like this, and then you get people on other spectrum. They are still bashing on it, and they are still confused. I don't know why they're confused. Well, I don't know long. You're referring to XRP scenario? Yeah, but there's still a lot of people confused on the matter of XRP. There's still people tweeting about XRP, saying XRP lost the case. XRP has to pay a fine. That's why they've lost the case. XRP's credit score looks bad. XRP won't be used by the banking systems. XRP won't do this, won't do. There's a lot of people still tweeting about this. And a lot of people also tweeting that XRP hasn't moved. I knew it was never going to move when the case was closed. And then, look, a lot of things people don't understand. One, there's still a 60-day period where the SEC can appeal this case, which will cause a volatile stage for the XRP token. Two, Ripple still hasn't paid the fine, which they need to resolve in a 30-day period. 3, if you think XRP is not going to move, then sell. Look, this isn't financial advice, and it's just my own personal preference. What I have noticed is a trend with people who hate on XRP. There's a lot of people that hate on XRP, but ironically, they hold XRP. And there's a lot of crypto influencers that hold XRP, and they hate on XRP 24/7. It's like their life goal to hate and bash XRP and anybody that holds it, but they hold it themselves, which is the funny part. So it means that they have no confidence in what exactly they say themselves. Because and once again, I'm not going to name anyone, but I know many influencers, many crypto influencers, and people know them as well, that they hold XRP, but they'll come out and tweet and say XRP is going nowhere. Other crypto projects are better than XRP. Banks will never use XRP. The price will never happen. But they hold XRP. And then when you ask them, why do you hold XRP? If you think it's going nowhere, the price is never going to move and nobody's going to use it. So why do you hold XRP? Their response always will be, well, I'm waiting for the price to go a little bit up so I can sell. But in your words, nobody's going to use it and the price is never going to move and other projects are better. So sell. The reason why they won't sell is because they're not confident in what they say. They're actually holding it on the basis of, if it goes up and I was wrong. That's why they're holding it. So for all those XRP haters out there, inside the crypto space, I'm not going to name any of them, but they know who they are. They'll tweet 24/7. XRP is going nowhere. Nobody's going to use it. The banking system's never going to use it. The price will never go up, but they're still holding. They're holding because they're not confident in what they say. If you're confident that the price will never move, that nobody will ever use it, and neither will the banking systems, then sell. Why are you holding on? For what? Because you're thinking the price might go a little bit up so you can sell? But you just said it's never going to move. So sell. Go for something else. But the reason why they won't sell is because they're not confident in what they say. On the back of their minds, they're like, what about if I'm wrong? What about if the price does move? What about if the banks do use it? Maybe I should hold on to it, but I'll still bash about it 24/7 like a child online. That's what they do. Like a child, they tweet about it on X. It's never going to move. Banks will never use it. Price will never move. But they still hold it. And the reason why they hold it is just in case the banks do use it and it does go up, which means they're not confident in what they say. I'm very confident on projects that I talk about. If I hold a particular crypto project, it's because I believe in what's going to achieve, because I've read the PDF documentations. I don't go ranting about it on like a child on X. If I'm confident that Ripple's not going to go anywhere, for example, if I'm confident that XRP is not going to go anywhere, nobody's going to use it, and neither is the banking system, then why the F would I hold XRP? Just think about it on a logical purpose. Just think about it logically. Why would I hold a crypto project that nobody's going to use and the price will never move? Then why don't I sell? Every project that I hold it confidently because I know, based on the PDF documentations, where it's headed, not overnight, but over time. So think about it logically. All of these XRP haters, every single one of them holds a bag. And some of them will admit to you that they do hold XRP, but they'll rant about it like a child. Oh, it's never going to move. The price will never move. Nobody's ever going to use it. Neither is the banking system. Then why are you holding? It is optional to hold XRP or to buy XRP. Just sell. Go to the projects that you claim move all the time. Go to the projects that you believe everybody's going to use. Why are you holding on to XRP if it's never going to move? But the ironic part is, when you ask them, why are you holding, their answer is essentially, oh, I'm waiting for the price to go a little bit up. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard. Because you just said it's never going to move. So why are you waiting for it to go a little bit up? Sell. Go to the projects that are moving. Look, I've always said this and I'll say it again. Everybody on this planet is entitled to an opinion, but opinions are not correct and facts are facts. Don't listen to morons who hold something and do something else. Never listen to somebody that doesn't take essentially action on their own words. Never. That's the worst person to be listening to. Somebody that says do this, but they don't do it themselves. Somebody that says this XRP is never going to move, this XRP is never going to be used, but they're still holding. Somebody that doesn't listen to their own words should not be given personal advice to anybody else. First, listen to your own words. If you're claiming this project is never going to move, this project is never going to be used, then sell. Listen to your own words first before you go ranting about it like a child to everybody else. That's all, honestly, I've always said this. Everybody's entitled to an opinion, but opinions are not correct, and facts are facts. I like to stick to the facts. Where the fact of the matter is, 24,000 crypto projects, one is essentially inside a CBDC field, has a CBDC platform that's being used. 98% of the world is in 98% of the centralized banks are in CBDCs. Bank of International Settlements and the International Monetary Fund will back that fact up. Essentially, 98% of the world centralized banks are in CBDCs. 24,000 crypto projects are in 24,000 crypto projects, and only one is in CBDC. One has a CBDC platform that's being used. One has multiple CBDC awards. One is on a Bank of International Settlements titled Cross-Border Payments on a PDF documentation. One goes to multiple World Economic Forum events and gives out massive speeches. One is with the International Monetary Fund. One is with centralized banks. 24,000 crypto projects, and only one is pretty much in CBDCs, one CBDC awards, and is being used as CBDC, as a platform, and has a CBDC platform. And 98% of the world, in terms of centralized banks, are either in testing stage, research stage, or implementation testing stages of CBDCs. You do the maths. 24,000 crypto projects, and only one is in CBDCs, and 98% of the world is in CBDCs. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. What Ripple's trying to achieve is not an easy task. It's a very difficult task, which a lot of people don't give them credit to. A lot of people want XRP to move now. They want it to move now, which is wrong to do. Because I've said this before, any other crypto project, 24,000 crypto projects out there, any other crypto project, they're all building applications. These 24,000 crypto projects out there, they're all building essentially apps for companies or apps for medium-sized or large-sized companies and so on. And if the app somewhere down the line doesn't work, it's okay. They can fix it with an update and a bug. And if it goes down for 4 hours, nobody cares. If you download a Web3 app or Web3 game and the game doesn't work for 4 hours, no problem. I mean, you'll be angry about it, but you just wait for the update and do something else. You can't put XRP or Ripple in the same category as any other crypto project out there, because what they're trying to achieve is a very difficult task. Trying to change an entire financial system is not something you can, one, do overnight. And two, not only do you have to be, as I said previously, 100% sure, but you have to be 1,000,000,000% sure before you launch. Ripple has to be, or XRP in general, has to be 1,000,000,000% sure before they launch. Imagine launching an entire financial system and the system goes down for 4 hours. It will cause protesting. It will cause havoc. It will be an absolute nightmare for everybody around the world. Imagine not having access to your bank account, not having access to pay your loans, your mortgages, your groceries, because your banking system is essentially on the XRP ledger or on the CBDC platform, and it has a bug in the system. What Ripple's trying to achieve is a very difficult task, and they don't have to be 100% sure before they launch. They have to be 1,000,000,000% sure before they launch, because there cannot be any errors or bugs in the system. But any other crypto project that's launching applications on Web3-based applications, if their projects go down even for 24 hours, nobody would care. You know why? Because you can still pay for your groceries, you can still pay for your gas, you can still pay for your cars, you can still pay for your loans, you can still pay for your rent, your mortgage, anything else, because it's not relatable. But Ripple, on the other hand, it's relatable to the financial system, which means if they go down in bugs and systems and so on, it's going to be protesting. Imagine not having access to your bank account. So what they're trying to achieve, they have not only have to be 100% sure, but Ripple has to be 1,000,000,000% sure before they launch on a large scale. Because we cannot have errors happening whatsoever. Solano's last time of crashing was 4 hours. Solano's system went down for 4 hours. And nobody cared. You know why nobody cares? Because it's not that useful to anybody, just for meme coins. But if that will happen on Ripple's scale and it was being used by the financial system, imagine for 4 hours not having access to your banking system. Look, you cannot put Ripple in the same category as any other crypto project. What they're trying to achieve is separate. They're trying to change an entire financial system. They have to be 1,000,000,000% sure before they launch. Every other crypto project, they can launch whatever Web3-based application they want to launch. If it doesn't work, if there's bugs in the system and it goes even out for 48 hours, nobody cares. But on the other side, if Ripple's system goes down even for 1 hour, even for 5 minutes, the world goes on the protesting stage because nobody can have access to their money because there's bugs in the system. So they have to be 1,000,000,000% sure before they launch Ripple. And the other 24,000 crypto projects, they can launch whatever Web3-based application they want to launch. Nobody cares if it goes down for 48 hours. So a lot of people don't understand what Ripple's trying to achieve. They don't understand what their goal is. They've never read the PDF documents, but they'll follow the crowd like a sheep. And the influencers that rant about Ripple 24/7 like a child, Ripple's never going to get used, Ripple's never going to be brought, Ripple's never going to be able to sell their XRP. They don't have basic logic that Ripple can sell XRP essentially to secondary markets, essentially for like Uphold, for example, and indirectly institutions can buy XRP from Uphold. But basic knowledge and essentially basic common sense doesn't apply to some of these influencers out there. And every single one of these influencers hold XRP. Some of them admit to it. And when you tell them why you're holding XRP, because they say, I'm waiting for it to go a little bit up so I can sell. But then they tweet all day long and say, XRP is never going to move. XRP is never going to be used. So in your own words, it's never going to be used. It's never going to go up in price. So why not sell? Because they're not confident to sell enough. If they were confident, sell. It is optional to hold XRP. You don't want to hold it, don't hold it. But don't hold it and rant about it 24/7. A person who says something and does something else is a person to stay away from. I always say this. If you're giving out advice, first listen to your own advice. And your advice is XRP is never going to move. It's never going to be used. So sell. Stop holding on to it and ranting about it like a child. And I'm not going to name anyone, but those people know who they are. Hello, Miles and CMF. Carol, good to see you. How you doing? Share this link if you like what you hear. I share it daily and often go to CMF. Let's go. Yes, definitely. If you like what you're hearing, share the live show. Just like in politics, everybody's going to start using AI to start dealing with real people. Yep, they are. Let's go, Yusuf. Gary Gensler and Elizabeth Warren are both bad apples from the same tree. In hell. I hope she gets sacked too. Imagine them both on the Dole office. I'm not going to say that one. You're awesome, brother. And thank you for always blessing us with your knowledge. Let's go, Gody Clothing. How you doing, brother? 100%. Let's go, Shelly. I saw one moron on TikTok today really hating on the idea of RLUSD, that Ripple is a very bad idea of them getting into stablecoins. He was live and just kept going on how bad Ripple's stablecoin will be. Ripple has no future. XRP is a dead coin. I mean, they can always sell. If they are confident it won't move, I will buy it. No question asked. Let's go, Scott. Davey, let's go. Makes me so mad. These morons. Exactly, Miles. They still hold it though. Miles, we know all about you, and we know how much you hate zoo tokens. Exactly, and I don't hold a single zoo token. At this point, their tweets just make me laugh. Same, honestly. It's cringe when I see these XRP haters coming out, but they hold XRP and don't listen to their own advice. It's absolutely cringe. One said, I sold all my XRP ages ago as it is an S coin. And the case was over, he admitted on the live the other day that he still holds 20,000 XRP, but if you ask him about XRP, he says he doesn't believe in it. They're not confident in their own words. Every XRP hater out there holds XRP, and they'll go on for days and tweet about it 24/7. It's not a good project. It's a scam project. It's a Ponzi project. It's never going to move in price. Nobody's ever going to use it. So why are you holding? And if your answer is, I'm holding for the price to go up a little bit before I sell, you're an absolute tool, honestly. Because your own words don't make sense to what you're essentially applying in the real world. You're claiming it never moves, but you're holding on for it to go up in price. I don't know how on that any sort of way it makes sense. Make it make sense. You're saying the price will never move, but you're holding on for the price to move so you can sell. But the price never moves, apparently. Believe in it. India is the first nation to use XRP for cross-border transactions for oil deal. Let's go, Frankie, brother. Now, JP Morgan. JP Morgan Chase introduces generative AI assistant to employees. JP Morgan Chase has recently expanded its AI capabilities by introducing a generative artificial intelligence program named LLM. Suited to over 60,000 of its staff, the initiative marks the first stage of the plan aimed at integrating AI technologies throughout the company. AI technologies throughout the company, similar to the widespread use of Zoom for video conferencing, LLM Suite is set to become a fundamental tool within the bank. JP Morgan Chase has just decided to go full AI on teaching their employees how to use AI technology. The only thing that those employees don't realize, that 60,000 employees don't realize, is that they're going to be replaced by that AI technology. So what essentially happens is major companies start implementing AI technology, and then they teach their staff to use AI technology because their staff thinks that they're going to be keeping their jobs, and AI is going to help them to do their job easier. In reality, the 60,000 staff in JP Morgan are actually teaching the AI technology tool to how to do it their job. And there will be a time period where those 60,000 people will be reduced to about 1,000 people. And because of all the experience the AI has been taught by the staff members, JP Morgan doesn't need that many staff members anymore. So those 60,000 staff that are using AI in JP Morgan right now and thinking that JP Morgan is being nice to them and introducing AI technology for them to make their jobs easier, they must be lost, because what they're actually doing is teaching the AI technology how to do their job, and they're going to be replaced by the AI technology they just taught. It's basic common sense. Too many companies have pulled this move. It's like when everybody uses open chats. So it's when everybody uses OpenAI, so ChatGPT. We've been essentially, whoever uses ChatGPT, a lot of people do, millions of people use ChatGPT. We're essentially teaching ChatGPT and sharing data with ChatGPT to, advance further on. Same thing applies here with companies using AI technology. The staff members are just teaching that AI technology tool how to get better and better at their job. And then the day comes where they get fired and the AI takes over, because they've been teaching the AI how to do their job. But then the company tells them at the beginning, oh, we're introducing AI so you can have an easier job. As if. Unlike other firms that have created their AI models, JP Morgan's strategy involves a portal that connects to external large language models, including those from, ironically, OpenAI. Teresa, JP Morgan's chief data analyst officer, highlighted the bank's flexibility in utilizing different models based on varying needs. This approach allows JP Morgan to utilize technological advancements without being restricted to a single provider. Currently, the LLM suite is aimed at employees in various departments, from consumer banking to asset management, by simplifying tasks such as email compositions or documentations of summarizations. The long-term goal is to enhance productivity by integrating JP Morgan's data into these AI tools. AI tools thereby customizing and improving their utility in a day-to-day operation when they slowly start replacing the employees. Obviously, it doesn't say that, but that's what's going to happen. Moreover, the bank anticipates further stages of AI integration that could transform the workplace by automating complex tasks and enhancing employee roles. When they say enhancing employee roles, they're basically just trying to say replacing employee roles. The word enhancing should be replaced by replacing. This progressive adoption underscores the significant potential AI holds to revolutionize industry practices, while also presenting challenges in job structures and employee roles. As JP Morgan Chase integrates AI technology like LLM suite into its operations, it essentially exemplifies a shift towards more efficient and data-driven business practices. The impact of such technologies will likely redefine roles and increase efficiencies across the financial industry, setting a benchmark for others to follow. Look, a lot of people are probably wondering also, with all this AI technology coming inside the workforce, especially in banks or financial systems and so on, replacing the workforce, what are all those people going to do later on when they lose their jobs from the banks or the massive corporations? Where are they going to get their money? Well, some of them will have obviously their pension funds going for them, and the ones that don't have any sort of money backing them when they do lose their jobs, a universal credit is what's being introduced. So the UK right now had a sit down a while ago. The UK a while ago had a sit down with the godfather of AI. I'm not even joking. That is what the guy is named. The godfather of AI. He was a part of OpenAI. He was a part of many projects from Microsoft's AI Generative, Copilot, OpenAI, Google's AI project. Any AI project, major AI project out there, this man was a part of it. And he's named the godfather of AI. And he had a sit down essentially with, our previous prime minister inside the UK. And he said that the UK should be going towards universal credits ASAP, because too many people are going to lose their jobs to AI technology, and some sort of payment that the government needs to give these people. Otherwise, they'll just all become homeless over time. So that is why the governments are introducing some sort of universal credit on a large scale basis, which is something that's been introduced for a while in the UK, but they're ramping it up right now. The UK has given multiple benefits to lots of people, but they've taken away all of those benefits and put it all into one group called universal credit, essentially. where a lot of people can join, and it's all wrapped into one. But this is basically the first early stages of a lot of people slowly losing their jobs and going into universal credit due to the AI technology taking over. But obviously there's a way around that, which is very easy. If you're in crypto, you're good. If you're not in crypto and you just have a regular 9-to-5 job and you've never entered crypto, and later on you're going to be on CBDCs with that universal credit system, I mean, good luck, honestly. If your life's just going to be on CBDCs, genuinely good luck. But if you're in crypto, smart person. Now, UK regulators, Financial Conduct Authority, clamps down on crypto with 1,000 notices. Now, the UK's Financial Conduct Authority doesn't move like Gary Gensler and the SEC. See, Gary Gensler does it out of spite. He goes after the random crypto projects and tries to sue them in every single angle and use dirty tricks. The UK's Financial Conduct Authority is not using any sort of dirty tricks. They actually just want to regulate the space. But they've realized that some people are taking advantage of the UK laws and grey areas. So, the UK's Financial Conduct Authority, FCA, intensifies its crackdown on unlicensed crypto firms, issuing over 1,000 notices, removing 48 apps from the app stores, and fining also Coinbase UK branch $4.5 million, making a pivotal step into the crypto market regulations. The more we go into crypto regulations, it's not a bad thing, it's actually a good thing, and hear me out. For banks to be entering the crypto space, for massive corporations to be entering the crypto space, they need to have regulations. The safety of regulations needs to be there before these banks and corporations come full foot, essentially foot to the pedal, coming inside the crypto space. They need to have some sort of netting, and that netting is the regulations in place. And they don't want to operate in gray areas, because gray areas will lead to you being sued by the SEC or the CFTC in some cases. So the closer we're getting to regulations is an indication of how closer we are getting to massive corporations and banks entering the field. And a lot of people will see that as a bad thing. They'll say, oh, we don't want the corporations inside the crypto space. We don't want the banks. We don't want the government inside the crypto space. Too late. Also, whether you like it or not, they're coming. They're entering the fields because they started up the whole game. And it's too long to go on that matter, but I've been on it before. Now, and the main thing you can take out of this, with the banks coming in and the regulations coming in, institutions coming in, is choose projects that are going to benefit you. So choose projects that will benefit you from the banks and the regulations and the institutions coming in. Don't go against the banks, don't go against the regulations, and don't go against essentially the institutions, because it's a losing battle for you. I'm being very genuinely honest. If you think choosing crypto projects that goes against regulations is a good thing because you're fighting the system, you're a moron. I'll be very simple, on the matter. But you're a moron of thinking you can go against, the regulations and choosing projects, or essentially choosing projects that goes against the banks and the systems and so on, because you want that freedom. There's two ways of going about it. You want to go against the system, it's your choice. But if you choose projects inside the crypto space that will benefit from the banks and institutions coming in, because you're benefiting from their money coming into those projects, you're the smart individual. But if you want to be the person that goes against the regulations and goes against the banks and the governments and so on coming inside the crypto space, everybody's entitled to choose whatever path they want to choose. Good luck. Because many have tried and many have ended up broke. But if you want to be the smart individual, choose something that will benefit you from all these things coming in. Don't go against it. The UK's Financial Conduct Authority has intensified its efforts to oversee the rapidly evolving cryptocurrency market space. This initiative follows the introduction of new financial promotion rules designed to curtail essentially unlicensed crypto activities in the UK. By issuing over 1,000 notices to unregistered crypto companies, the FCA is signaling the end of the litigations. Increased regulatory measures. As the financial landscape evolves swiftly, the need for solid regulatory frameworks becomes more pressing. The Financial Conduct Authority's recent actions highlighted its dedication to ensuring a safe and transparent financial environment. Lucy, the FCA's Director of Consumer Investments, emphasized the regulator's proactive stance in addressing firms operating without proper registration. The FCA has focused on firms that offer services without being registered, which has led to serious penalties as well. And the enforcement of these new regulations has produced concrete outcomes. The Financial Conduct Authority has removed 48 cryptocurrency apps from the UK app stores, demonstrating its commitment to and regarding the illegal activities inside the digital market space. Additionally, the FCA has worked with social media platforms to promptly remove content that promotes unauthorized crypto activities, enhance guidelines and compliance. The new FCA guidelines underscores the adherence to promotional rules is now mandatory. These regulations require companies to correctly classify consumers as restricted, high net worth, or certified sophisticated investors before sending financial promotions. While many companies comply with allowing consumers to choose their classifications, some have been found guiding consumers on how to identify themselves to proceed, a practice the FCA disapproves of. These guidelines aim to protect consumers from undue risk. The Financial Conduct Authority's strategy is to create a regulated environment where businesses and consumers can operate with confidence. Businesses and consumers can operate with confidence. Clear regulatory guidelines are essential for sustainable growth of the cryptocurrency sector in the United Kingdom. Fines and enforcements. Non-compliance with these regulations can result in severe penalties, as illustrated by the recent fine imposed on Coinbase UK-based branch. The Financial Conduct Authority fined Coinbase subsidiary CB Payments $4.5 million for violating a consent order related to the user sign-up procedures. The penalty was due to the CBPL's failure to honor its commitment not to accept consumers classified as high risk by the FCA. The incident underscores the FCA's determination to rigorously enforce regulatory standards. By imposing such penalties, the FCA aims to convey a clear message to all cryptocurrency firms in the UK. Compliance is mandatory. Adhering to these regulations is crucial for practicing consumer and maintaining market integrity. Future outlook. The Financial Conduct Authority's recent initiative represents a crucial turning point in the regulation of cryptocurrencies in the UK. By tightening control over unregistered firms and enhancing strict compliance measures, the FCA is setting the stage for a more secure and regulated crypto market. This proactive approach is vital as the popularity of use of cryptocurrencies continues to grow, attracting more participants and investments. As the cryptocurrency landscape evolves, these regulatory measures will be a key fostering in a stable and trustworthy market environment. The future of cryptocurrencies in the UK will likely be shaped by these comprehensive regulatory frameworks, presenting both opportunities and challenges for market practices. It is through these meticulous regulatory efforts that the Financial Conduct Authority aims to build is a resilient and sustainable crypto market that benefits all stakeholders involved. In conclusion, the Financial Conduct Authority's enhanced oversight of the cryptocurrency market is a significant step towards creating a safe and transparent financial ecosystem in the UK. By enforcing stringent regulations and imposing hefty penalties on non-compliant firms, it is ensuring that consumer protection is prioritized. So, the UK is going heavy-footed on the regulation stage, which is good to see finally the UK moving towards regulations. The faster the UK moves towards regulations, the faster the corporations and the banks in the UK can enter the crypto space, which means the faster they can enter the crypto space with their wallets, which is full of cash. So the UK is definitely taking a very crucial step and also a new milestone for the UK, genuinely, because the UK has been claiming for a very long time they want to become a crypto hub, but they haven't been moving quick enough. Whereas the United Arab Emirates has been moving very quickly and they want to become a crypto hub. Saudi Arabia has been moving very quickly as well. So is Bahrain, so is Kuwait, so is Hong Kong, so is Singapore, so is Japan. They've been moving extremely quick. And so is Brazil in terms of becoming some sort of a crypto hub. But the UK always talks about it, but never takes action. And now we're seeing action being made by the UK by introducing regulations and essentially getting the banks and the corporations involved faster inside the crypto space. Massive to see. Genuinely a milestone for the UK. Now, on the topic of regulations, moving away from the UK, going into Europe now. The MiCA regulations, which is the EU with their regulations in terms of stablecoins, blockchain technology, innovation, Web3, AI, everything's pretty much under that. And the MiCA regulations essentially poses a systematic risk to banking systems. Now, this is a perspective coming from Tether's CEO. So Tether's CEO has done an interview. Tether's CEO has done an interview. And in his interview, he has talked about essentially how the MiCA regulations coming out of the EU is a threat to the banking systems. Let me be the first one to tell Tether's CEO, you are full of BS. Tether's CEO is full of BS. He's actually did an interview and talked about how the MiCA regulations coming up the EU is a threat to the banking system in the EU. I don't think Tether CEO understands how to read PDF documentations, or he's just lying willingly because he doesn't want to make his own project look bad. You see, USDT is the only project not allowed in the EU at all. USDT is not allowed to operate in the EU at all. Reasonings? Because the EU wants transparency for USDT Tether to hold some of their assets in banks. 60% of their assets have to be held in some sort of banks where the EU can see, yes, you do hold assets to back your cryptocurrencies. And Tether said no. And this makes Tether look bad. Why doesn't Tether want to show transparency? So Tether does multiple interviews and bashing the MiCA regulations, saying the MiCA regulations is a threat to the banking systems. No, it's not. You are a threat to the financial system. Tether is a threat to the stablecoin system because you're the only project, massive stablecoin, no transparency. Look, the MiCA regulations are set up to protect the banks, to protect the retail section, to protect the corporations. Okay, that's why the MiCA regulations are set up. They're not set up out of spite to go against USDT and Tether. No, they're set up to protect the banks, actually, to protect the corporations and to protect the retail section. You see, the EU wants to know that if you are a stable coin, do you have backings? Because they don't just want to close their eyes and start using a USDT token, and somewhere down the line, it comes out that you don't have backings, it depegs from the dollar, and all the banks and the retail section and the countries, and the corporations that are using USDT in the EU suddenly start going down the toilet. Because one day it just comes out, Tether actually doesn't have backings for their USDT coin, and the banks in the EU, the retail section, and essentially the corporations in the EU using USDT, depending on how much exposure they have to USDT, they start going downhill, which means the EU's economy can be damaged incredibly bad. So Tether's CEO is full of BS because the MiCA regulations came in and stopped their BS. And it makes Tether look bad for not being transparent and showing that they do have proof of assets, because USDC had no issue. USDC didn't make multiple videos and interviews on why their project essentially, the MiCA is bad and so on. No, USDT said no problem. Circle said no problem to the EU. You want transparency? We'll give you transparency. We have no issues. Tether, no, MiCA regulation is bad for the banking sector. It's a threat to the banking sector. It's a threat to the public. Just show transparency. Why are you making excuses for? So the MiCA regulations poses a systematic risk to the banking system, says Tether's CEO. Tether's CEO has raised concerns that the European Union markets in crypto assets MiCA regulations poses a systematic risk not only to stablecoins, but also to the burgeoning banking systems. He said the problem that I have, good that he said I have, because nobody else has problems with the MiCA. The problem that I have with the MiCA is that instead of making the system more secure, it's actually creating an incredibly big systematic risk. How? And this was an interview that I did, an exclusive interview that I did with CoinDesk. The MiCA regulations, which took effect on June 30th, imposes limitations on stablecoin operations across the European economy area, the EU in other words. Notably, it mandates that at least 60% of reserves backing stablecoins must be held in EU bank accounts. That is the only rule that the EU is requiring for stablecoins. Hold 60% of your assets in EU bank accounts, so we can tell you have backings, and then you can do whatever you want in the EU. So the Tether CEO highlighted that financial institutions operate under fractional reserve bankings, where only a fraction of deposits are available for withdrawal at any given moment and leaving them vulnerable to bank runs. That doesn't apply to cryptocurrencies, by the way, because you can only print them. The bank cannot print USDT. You can. So this topic of essentially, Tether claiming that banks are on fractional reserves. Yes, banks do have fractional reserves, but they can't do that on USDT. He further pointed out that the EU cash deposits are insured for only up to $100,000, an amount he argues is inadequate for large stablecoin issuers like Tether. BS. He also stated that the 2023 collapse of California-based Silicon Valley Bank as a cautionary tale, The bank, which held substantial reserves of USDC coin, experienced a run that led to depegging of the stablecoin. Yes, Silicon Valley Bank did crash, but the banks that you're going to be holding your assets in are not Silicon Valley banks. They're HSBC, Lloyds, Barclays, JP Morgan, on those types of scales. Do you think Standard Chartered Bank is going to go bankrupt like a small Silicon Valley bank? Do you think Barclays is going to crash? HSBC is going to crash? Lloyds is going to crash? No. Do you know why? Because they have blockchain partners, which means they're not going to crash. So how are you comparing a small, tiny bank in Silicon Valley to one of the largest banks out there and saying, well, they crashed, so that means they're going to crash? No, they're not. Stop making excuses and show transparency. Silicon Valley Bank went belly up, he said. We all know about that, and our main competitor almost died. So I think we have a very, very recent example of why that is a bad idea. Do you know what is a bad idea? You printing USDT and claiming it's for a rainy day. Tether prints 1 billion USDT. And when they got asked, why did you print 1 billion USDT? They said, don't worry about it. We're not going to add it into circulation. We're just printing it for a rainy day. Who prints 1 billion USDT for a rainy day? And by the way, when that rainy day comes, why not just print it on the rainy day? You're acting as if it takes months to print this billion USDT token. No, it's a few seconds. So there are so many questions around Tether regarding the transparency and regarding the actions they take. And why is it only that they print on Tron network? The reason why they print on Tron network is because nobody asks questions on Tron network. Multiple issues wrong with Tether. One being their CEO, who's head to toe full of BS. Now, the next topic on tonight's live show is regarding options exchange, CBOE, and essentially their resubmission of an application to list options on spot Bitcoin exchange traded funds. Before we go through that, let's go inside the comment section first. Let's see where we were. We were here. Hi, Miles of CMF. Sorry I'm late. What did I miss? Mike, good to see you. How you doing? At the end of the live show, I'll go through a gist of what we talked about. But good to see you, Mike. How you doing? Hi, Miles. Why is XRP dipping? Is that it for the pump? No, that's not it for the pump. It's due to many people being misinformed on XRP, but also that 60-day period and that 30-day period for them to pay out. Universal basic income, basically. Miles, what partnerships do XLM have? As we hardly talk about Stellar Luminous, XLM, we do hardly talk about it. And I can list the partnerships inside Telegram group after this live show for you, no problem. What can crypto do for me when all this CBDC stuff happens? What can crypto do for you when all of this CBDC stuff happens? Well, if you have cryptocurrencies and we go into CBDCs, which is what's going to be happening very soon, 2025 is pretty much where all these countries are launching their CBDCs. But you having cryptocurrencies, you're going to get CBDCs either way. If you have cryptocurrencies or not, you're still going to get CBDCs. But going into a CBDC world and you have cryptocurrencies will be attached to a social credit system, which has been mentioned multiple times at the WEF. So at the WEF, they've mentioned World Economic Forum, they've mentioned multiple times that they're going to be, social credit systems and CBDCs will be attached together. And it's something that's been built by the Bill Gates and Melinda Foundation. Ironically, the Bill Gates and Melinda Foundation, well, Melinda donated to Kamala Harris's campaign. Kamala Harris is pro-CBDC and Trump is obviously anti-CBDC. World Economic Forum is pro-CBDC. Bank of International Settlements and International Monetary Fund are pro-CBDC. And Kamala Harris is pro-CBDC, hence why, Melinda donating to Kamala Harris quite a substantial amount, $10 million, I think it was, to her campaign. And it's because she's pro-CBDC. And ironically, Melinda Gates and Bill Foundation is also building CBDC wallets attached to social credit systems, which was announced at the World Economic Forum. Putting that to one side, living in a CBDC world, everybody will have CBDC wallets if you have cryptocurrencies or not. But if you have cryptocurrencies, you get to do things other people can't. See, cryptocurrencies are programmable. They can be seized, freeze, and put expiry dates on. We've seen this multiple times. Thailand is the first one to be essentially introducing on a large scale programmable CBDCs in the sense of expiry dates, where Thailand's Thai Pot is going to be giving out, cryptocurrency CBDCs, 10,000 baht with an expiry date of 6 months. And this is a reward for anybody that voted for the Thai party. They can spend 4 kilometers away from their house and expire 6 months' time. So with CBDCs, there's massive control. The centralized banks will have massive control, but they'll never do it instantly. They'll do it over time to you. Once they got everybody trapped fully in CBDCs is when they start doing the programmable features. Now, once we get to that stage of programmable features, if you have cryptocurrencies, you have to ticket to freedom, which means if they tell you to sit, stand, do something, you can say, no, thank you. I still have, Bitcoin, XRP, XLM, XDC, Ethereum, Solana, whatever you want to have. But you can still say, I have, no, thank you. I have these cryptocurrencies, which I can rely on. But if you only have CBDCs, then your life is pretty much done. You're going to be a pet dog for the government, for centralized banks, basically. It's something that was introduced also in China, first of all, before anybody else, where 1,400 people, it was a study test, they had social credit systems and CBDC wallets. These 1,400 people were told where to sit, where to stand, where to eat, where to go, when to sleep, basically. And the 1,400 people loved the idea of being controlled 24/7 in that study test. Now, obviously, I said till this day, I don't know if those 1,400 people in China were brain dead, because the idea of somebody telling you where to stand, where to sit, where to eat is not appealing to anyone. And you're basically a pet dog to centralized banks. You know how you give your dog a treat and pat it on the head and go, good boy? It's basically what's going to happen on CBDC wallets and social credit systems. So the appeal of that is pretty much minus 1 million. So living in a CBDC or social credit systems, if you have cryptocurrencies, is so basically your ticket to freedom, if you're smart enough. So they'll sell you the idea of cryptocurrencies being bad, cryptocurrencies, negative, full of scams, illicit activities. In reality, it's actually your ticket to freedom. The more people they have trapped fully on CBDCs, the better it is for them. The more of the retail section being in cryptocurrencies is worse for them, because then they'll have more people escaping essentially that whole system they're going to be setting up. The idea of seizing and freezing, people say it's ludicrous to be seizing and freezing people's wallets. It's not ludicrous in any sort of a way. Traditional banking systems can already freeze and seize your assets. It's just on a CBDC, it's just much more easier. Expiry dates are not off the books either. They can be applied. It is a programmable CBDC. And also, the main concern with CBDCs is that, privacy issues. You basically have zero privacy. And a lot of governments will argue the point that they take privacy very seriously, but can you really believe them? And the answer is no. If you believe what centralized banks say when it comes to your privacy, then you're a moron. Since the dawn of time until now, every politician has lied to you. Every politician. Since the dawn of time until now, since the day you were born. Let me make it simpler. Since the day you were born until now, every politician has lied to you. Every bank has lied to you. And when the banks and the politicians are coming together and saying CBDCs are good, CBDCs are, we care about your privacy. We're putting privacy implementations on it. Don't worry about it. This is for your convenience. And there are people who are actually clapping for this and saying, yes, we want this. I believe you. I believe you're creating privacy. You're a moron. Just think about it. Since the day you were born until now, name me a politician that didn't lie to you. Name me a politician, name me a bank CEO or executive board member who didn't lie to you. You can't. It's impossible. So the ideology of, on CBDCs, what will crypto do for me? Everything. It will actually be your ticket to freedom. Think of it as Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Everybody's seen that film, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. When that kid in Willy Wonka finds the golden ticket in the bar of chocolate, he finds that golden ticket. That is your cryptocurrencies living in a CBDC. Everybody has a chocolate bar around you in a CBDC world. Imagine a CBDC wallet as a chocolate bar. Everybody around you has a chocolate bar in a CBDC world, but you have a golden ticket in your chocolate bar, which is your cryptocurrencies. Everybody else holding a chocolate bar has a CBDC wallet only. Simplest way to put it. Tangent, Zhang, the only thing that is being threatened is Tether, end of story. Facts. Ripple testing stablecoin today in the US on the XRP ledger. Yep. And Ethereum ledger as well. As I am heavily invested in XRP and XLM. Yes, I'll list the projects. But also, if you want to know an XLM, regarding one main project, MoneyGram being one of their biggest essentially partner regarding XLM and Stellar Luminous. A lot of people also don't know this. They only know that Stellar Luminous is a partner of MoneyGram, but it also MoneyGram owns a small percentage of so Stellar Luminous also owns a small percentage of MoneyGram's company. A lot of people don't know this either. They think that MoneyGram is only partnered with XLM. But actually, XLM also owns a small minority share in MoneyGram's company. and that Stellar Luminous and MoneyGram are building a wallet together, which is definitely going to be using XLM, which is quite big actually, but that's just one of their partnerships. I'll list all of them inside the Telegram group of this live show. And by the way, anybody's more than welcome to join the Telegram group of this live show as well. It's completely free. And everybody's very respectful. They're all inside the comment section. The Chinese love control, even if they're getting control. Miles, the most important question I have, is it possible to escape CBDCs? Yes, cryptocurrencies. Indeed, we must get on the crypto train because the governments are trying to distract the people with possible wars and pandemics, etc. Facts. A lot of people right now are too focused on each other. Just think about it right now. Very simple. Everybody in the world is right now either focused on World War III, which is a topic that's been resurfaced again. It's never going to happen. But everybody's focused on World War III right now. And a lot of people around the world are turning on each other. So just think about the timeline. As we're going into CBDCs, okay, and this is how close we are when then they're all launching in 2025, pretty much. The EU is launching in 2025. India is going to be expanding. Russia's launching in 2025 with their ruble. Brazil's launching in 2025. Hong Kong's launching. Singapore's. I mean, it's just a list of countries launching CBDCs. So, ironically, this being the time where everybody's looking at each other or focused on World War III. And behind the scenes, we're getting closer and closer and closer to CBDCs, to full control, basically. Now, is it something that you could go against? No, you can't go against CBDCs. Anyone that thinks you can go against CBDCs, you can't. But to live in a CBDC world and to be above everybody else, you can do that instead. And obviously, the backbone of CBDCs is XRP. The XRP ledger is the backbone of CBDCs. So living in the CBDC world, if you want to, there's two things you can do. Either live in a CBDC world or benefit from other people using CBDCs. If you want to benefit from other people using CBDCs, then XRP is your token. Genuinely. 24,000 crypto projects, 98% of the world is inside CBDC, centralized banks. 24,000 crypto projects, and only one has a CBDC platform with multiple CBDC awards. Does not take a genius to figure that one out. And yeah, everybody's pretty much focused on each other. And if you want a better timeline than that, COVID. At the exact same time COVID happened, the World Bank, this is an actual study test that you can go and check out, PDF document. The World Bank was doing essentially tokenized, the World Bank was doing some sort of blockchain testing, digital payment testing, and essentially some sort of tokenization testings. The World Bank. At the exact same time COVID started. And you know what the ironic part is? It was successful. The World Bank's testings on blockchain technology was successful. And then we had COVID, straight after pretty much. The same year, the World Bank, the testings is the exact same year, essentially COVID was introduced. And what did COVID do? Moved everybody away from cash, the majority of people away from cash, to Apple Pay, Google Pay, Samsung Pay. And what does that happen? Essentially, what that indicates is we're moving away from cash. One, it started from COVID times. Two was the Russia and Ukraine war. The Russia and Ukraine war was the bump of the prices. COVID started to shift people over. COVID started to make people transfer over from essentially cash to Apple Pay, Samsung Pay, Google Pay. This is what COVID caused. And the exact same time COVID happened as the exact same time the World Bank was doing testings on blockchain technology. It's a PDF document, public information, everybody can go and read. So at the exact same time the World Bank was doing blockchain testing and was successful on payments, as the exact same time COVID started, where everybody moved away from cash to essentially digital payments, Apple Pay, Samsung Pay, Google Pay. Ironically, Apple Pay, Samsung Pay, Google Pay are also going into CBDCs. If you didn't know that, now you know. They're going to be doing their first CBDC trials in India. And then they're going to be expanding worldwide. So Google Pay is going into CBDCs, the same platform everybody starts using straight after COVID. 90% of people started using digital payments after COVID and moved away from cash. Some people still think cash carries germs, according to a study test in Germany as well. When in reality, and here's the thing, the timeline. World Bank does testings on blockchain, successful. COVID starts. Everybody moves away from cash to digital payments. Russia and Ukraine war starts. bumps up the prices, creates a bigger gap between the lower class and the middle class, where the middle class starts joining the lower middle class, in other words, and the upper class just climbs the ladder even more. And then the gas prices go up, food prices go up, grocery prices go up, and everything goes up, and they blame everything on Putin. And then they do an interview with Putin. Essentially, they do an interview with Putin, and Putin says, no, I'm never going to start World War III, and why would I start a war with NATO? So that clamps down and becomes useless. So then they start another war for a massive distraction. But the COVID scenario was to move everybody to digital. World Bank was doing testings. Putin, essentially, Russia war starts, the prices go higher, creates a bigger gap between people. And then the other war that's going on right now is just one massive distraction. Believe it or not, it's just one massive distraction, and people are eating it up. I'm sorry to say, but if you are, on this war, if you're fixated on the war that's currently going on, it's just distracting you. It's nothing that you can stop in any sort of a way. It's just going to continue on. And it's a massive distraction. World Bank does testings, successful testings on blockchain. The same year, COVID starts. Everybody moves away from cash. Russia and Ukraine go to war, prices go up, creates a bigger gap between people. The next war that's happening is just one massive distraction for what's about to come next, which is CBDCs. And they've been milking the war that's going on right now so much where people are turning on each other and they're distracted about what's about to be happening next, which is CBDC, social credit systems. So before you can turn your head back and realize what's happened, it's too late. You're on CBDCs. So I'm sorry to say, but you've just been distracted by the current war that's going on. And they'll keep on spinning the topic of World War III, World War III, World War III. Let me just make it very clear. I said this in 2023. Do you know the ironic part? In 2023, on this live show, by the way, this is episode 123. Every single night you can tune into this live show. This is episode 123. So on this live show last year, I said in 2024, they're going to give you the topic and they're going to essentially distract you with the topic of World War III. I said this in 2023. I said they're going to distract people with the topic of World War III in 2024. And I said this in 2023. Fast forward to 2024, we've had the topic of World War III twice. One at the beginning of the year to distract people, and one right now, again. The same thing. The reason why history will always repeat itself is because people are forgetful. And if people are forgetful, history will easily repeat itself. So we've had the topic of World War III once at the beginning of the year, never happened. And I said it's never going to happen. And I named it that they're going to use it as a distraction in 2023. And I said it's going to happen in 2024 as a distraction. Fast forward to today, we're having the topic of World War III again. It's never going to happen. The reason why World War III will never happen is because you've got to understand one simple, basic common sense, which is we're not fighting with sticks and stones. No country is going to go to battle with sticks and stones. At this level and stage that we're pretty much in, it's press a button, everybody goes to dust. Every country is as powerful as the next. So it's pretty much everybody pressing a button and everybody goes to dust. Where is the benefit of that? You've got to understand why wars happen in the first place. Wars happen for somebody else to become more powerful, more greedy, and so on, to make more money. Wars are there to generate money. If everybody goes to dust, what's the point of that is what I'm trying to say. Every war that's created is because of somebody making more money, and it's because of power and greed, essentially. Money, power, and greed. Every war. It's a business. War is a business. So where's the benefit of a World War III for these businessmen that start wars? Because every country could, pretty much turn the next country to dust. They'll just press a button, everybody goes to dust. We're not going to battle with sticks and stones. Everybody presses a button, everybody's done for. That's a World War III scenario. And there's no benefit. Every war has a benefit for the person that starts it. And ironically, the groups of people behind them. But every war has a benefit attached to it. And that benefit is more money, more power, more greed. If everybody goes at the exact same time to battle each other, there is no benefit, no money, no power, and no greed. So use basic common sense and logic and understand that World War III is never going to happen. It's a distraction. Every war that's possibly happened on this planet was for power and greed. There was a benefit. There was a benefit attached to it. No benefit in World War III. Everybody goes to dust. So stop getting distracted by the same recycled topics of World War III. It's never going to happen. I said this in 2023, that they're going to distract you with World War III scenarios in 2024. And they did it at the beginning of the year when they distracted. When the UK was saying, we need soldiers, we're going to go to war, we're going to go to battle with Russia. Did we go to battle with Russia? No. You know why? Because when they did an interview with Putin, Putin said, who said we're going to start World War III? No. They asked the question to Putin, are you going to start a war essentially with NATO? Putin said, you must be crazy if you think we're going to start a war with NATO. It's a distraction. And now they're using the exact same recycled topic of World War III is on the verge. Now, is it going to happen? No, it's never going to happen. World War III is never going to happen. The faster you understand this, the better it is. It's just one massive distraction, a recycled distraction. There's no benefit to World War III. Every war has a benefit to it, a benefit attached to it. World War III has no benefit. Everybody goes to dust. No benefit. No money involved, no power, no greed, because everybody's dead. So stop getting distracted. And the current war that's going on right now is a massive distraction. People are turning in each other, and we're going into CBDC and social credit systems. Look, I can't save everyone. I can't wake up everyone and make them realize that, we're going into CBDCs, we're going to social credit systems. Wake up, wake up. Stop getting distracted by World War III. It's never going to happen. Stop getting distracted by wars that you are not a part of. It's all distractions. And yes, the current war that's going on is bad on both sides. Yes, obviously, children getting hurt is not a good idea. I get that. But here's a scenario as well. Every 6 seconds, a child dies because of dirty water. And nobody cares. Every 6 seconds, a child will die because of dirty water. Nobody cares. You know why? Because it's not on the news. Yes, of course, I care about anybody dying. Of course I do. I'm human. I care about people getting hurt. But don't get involved in scenarios that don't relate to you, because all you're doing is getting distracted from your main goal. And your main goal in life should be to protect your own family. That's it. Just keep the light on your own house. Just focus on your own family, focus on your own goals, and make something out of yourself. And later on, you want to help people, go help people. Make your money and go help people. Create a foundation. Give free food. Create shelter for the homeless. Go to countries that need, food and water. Build wells. Do whatever you want. But screaming and shouting doesn't fix anything. It never does, and it never will. And it's just one massive distraction for you, while they're laughing their heads off. But yeah, honestly, every 6 seconds, pretty much a child dies because of dirty water. Nobody cares because it's not on the news. But don't get distracted. It's all just massive distractions. Wake up, realize what's happening around you. And it's CBDCs and social credit systems. A massive, massive control is on the way from centralized banks. When you're fixated on, protesting about things that don't really involve you, when you're fixated on World War III, scenarios that will never happen, you're distracted. Wake up. And a lot of people will probably watch this and go, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. Well, here's a scenario. Time will tell. Time will tell. If anybody thinks I'm saying it wrong, even though I'm basing my timelines on actual factual information, World Bank does testings, blockchain testings. Exact same time COVID starts, the World Bank does testings on blockchain. Successful. COVID starts. Everybody moves away from cash into essentially digital payments. Exact same time, World Bank does testings, COVID starts. Successful testings on blockchain. COVID starts. Everybody moves away from cash. Russia war starts, prices go up, the gap gets bigger between people. The second war that starts, massive distraction. And then the topic of World War III keeps on spinning. Everybody's getting distracted. Next year is when we're going to have CBDC releases from multiple countries. Just pointing that out there. Next year, we're going to have multiple CBDCs releasing from a lot of countries. And while you're fixated and screaming and shouting about things, and the simplest way to put it, France is the #1 country that protests about everything. The French people protest about everything. Every single thing in history, the French people have protested about. And has France got better or worse? The answer to that question is worse, just like everywhere else on this planet. Protesting doesn't work, it never worked, and never will. You know why? Because nobody's listening. And you know why? Nobody's ever going to listen. So the faster you realize that point, the faster you can realize that you should be focusing on yourself and your family, and nothing else matters. The most important people in your life is your mother, your father, and your siblings. That is the most important people in your life, and nothing else matters. Once you reach a stage where you can give a helping hand, give a helping hand. But the only thing that matters around you is your mother, your father, and your siblings. And then when you reach a certain stage, give a helping hand. Give free food. Build a well in a country that needs water. But don't scream and shout. Screaming and shouting resolves nothing. Absolutely nothing. But you know, the distractions are working right now. A lot of people are distracted. A lot of people are distracted on each other, which is the worst distraction ever. At the end of the day, we're all human. Doesn't matter, you know, male, female, skin color, religion. At the end of the day, we all believe in one God. At the end of the day, we're all human, no matter what our skin color is, no matter what your religion is. At the end of the day, there's one God, and at the end of the day, we're all human. But arguing about who's what, why? And also, at the end of the day, some people's actions should not apply to the rest. Just because a certain group of individuals commit something, it does not mean that the entire nation is wrongdoing. It's very simple, honestly. Just because a group of certain people do something, it does not apply to the general public of that group. That's just common sense. It's very simple, as if, you know, the simplest way to also put it, if your father commits a M, if your father commits an M on someone, if your father takes out someone, does that mean that you are also does that mean that you are also an M? No. Your father is, not you. The people around you don't dictate who you are. You can follow their footsteps, but it doesn't dictate who you are. So if a certain group of people commit something, it does not apply to the entire group at all. And that's just common sense. Take the people that are responsible for it, but not everybody else. That's the most dumbest idea ever. You know, the person that did the act should take responsibility for it, not the person that was standing next to him who doesn't know what's going on. I always wanted the golden ticket though. Let's go, Ray. An XRP wallet requires 10 XRP to activate the wallet. And how will that be in the future when XRP is at a high price? How can someone open a wallet? They'll reduce it at that moment in time. That's not what I meant. They create a problem and then give a solution. Exactly. They create a problem, then give a solution. Look, this is going to get out of hand so much. This distraction of people turning against each other is going to get out of hand so much, where some people are going to get fed up. And those people are going to go running to the government, which is what the government wants. They want a massive group of individuals to get fed up, is what the governments want. Every country right now, the people are turning against each other. Do you not think that's very comedy that the majority of countries around the world right now, everybody's turning against each other? Do you not think the timeline is quite interesting on that matter? Why is it that the majority of countries, people are turning against each other? Do you not think it's like a domino effect? A massive group of individuals are going to run to their governments at a certain point in time, and they're going to say to the government, we need control. We need control. And the government's going to say, no problem. But they want you. The government wants a group of individuals to get fed up, to run towards the government. And that's going to happen. A group of individuals is going to run towards the government and say, we need your help. It's getting out of hand. The government's going to go, no problem. We're going to bring in control, which is what they want. They want you to ask for the control. And people are going to ask for that control because people are turning on each other. And a massive group of individuals are going to turn towards the government and say, we need your help. We need control. The government's going to say, no problem. We're going to introduce control, which is what they want. And you're just falling into their hands, ironically. And then they're going to be introducing social credit systems and CBDCs. They're going to make you beg for it, is what's going to happen. The governments are going to make you beg for CBDCs and social credit systems. There's an old saying, there's a very old saying, create a problem, introduce a solution. If you create the problem, if I create the problem, for example, if I created the problem, it's very easy for me to introduce the solution. You know why? Because I know what the solution is, because I created the problem. So, but either way, the majority of people won't listen. The distraction is going to go on and on and on. And a lot of people are going to be on CBDCs. Not my problem. Look, I'm just saying what's going to happen. And if you don't know who I am or what I'm saying might not be correct, one thing you should understand is about me is I'm never wrong. Who can say that? No one. I'm never wrong. Almost never wrong. No, I'm never wrong. Don't believe me? Ask the comment section. Since 2023 until now, I've been saying things, and about 6 months later, they happen. That's only because God's given the correct wisdom to be able to share this. And also, if you're wondering what religion I am, what religion I am, no religion. I have no religion whatsoever. But I believe in God, and I respect everybody's religion. I respect everybody's religion. I believe in God, and I always do the right thing. But I have no religion myself. I just believe in God. I always do the right thing. I always help people when I can, and I respect everybody's religion. No matter what your religion is, I'll respect it. I can't judge. Judgment day is for everyone. When that judgment day comes, you'll realize if you're, with the correct person or not. So I respect everybody's religion. I believe in God, and I always do the right thing. And the wisdom that I have is basically God shared that wisdom with me to be able to share with other people. But some people will listen, some people won't. And the people that don't listen will be on CBDCs. And only on CBDCs. But the timelines are always interesting. There's no such thing as coincidence. It's all coordinated. Especially when it comes to the financial system. Nothing in the financial system happens by accident. Nothing inside the corporation sector happens by accident. Nothing by governments happens by accident. It's all coordinated. Just think about the timelines. The timelines are key details of what's about to happen next, basically. And a lot of people in a majority of countries are turning against each other. At the exact same time, we're about to go on CBDC and social credit systems. And they will make you beg for those CBDCs. And they will make you beg for those social credit systems because they will bring control when you ask for it. And it's because they want you to ask for control. The governments want you to beg for control. And you will beg. The people right now are turning on each other. One group is going to run to the government and beg for control. And that group is going to be the one that starts the CBDCs and social credit systems. And you're just falling into their plans. But either way, I'm holding XRP. Well, I'm holding quite a lot of crypto projects, but XRP is going to be the backbone of those projects, of those CBDCs. So the people that are, distracted right now going on CBDCs, thank you for making me money in the future. Be very honest. 24,000 crypto projects, 98% of the world is in CBDCs, and only one project out of 24,000 crypto projects is doing CBDCs. Has a CBDC platform on the back of international settlements, PDF, token, title, cross-border payments. So, and won multiple CBDC awards. So the people that are going to be on CBDCs that are right now distracted, they're going to all be on CBDCs. So thank you so much for making me money later on, because I'm holding XRP, the backbone of those CBDCs, and you're going to be making me money on CBDCs. Thank you, the distracted people in this planet. Honestly. That's not what they create a problem and then give the solution. Exactly. And they are deliberately trying to cause a civil unrest among the people. Yeah, they are deliberately. Do you not think it's ironic that the government's letting all this happen? Do you not really think it's ironic? They're letting people get agitated. They're letting people do this and that. They're increasing the opening the borders. They're letting people steal in broad daylight. They're letting people get, essentially, there's so many things happening in broad daylight that it will just raise questions and alarms in your head. But they're letting it all happen because they want you to go begging for CBDCs and social credit systems. They want you to go begging for control. And when you beg for that control, they will deliver on that control. I meant without CBDCs, but only CBDCs could be their loophole to get crypto, as such as accept crypto. Yep. In CBDCs, can anyone create a crypto wallet to accept crypto? On CBDCs, can anyone create a crypto wallet to accept? They can, yeah, if they want to. They can filter out the morons when we are in CBDCs. The guy still calls crypto a scam. How much crypto would be enough to survive from the new world order? A sufficient amount would be, even a small amount, you can borrow against it. Does the World Economic Forum control the world banks? No. Well, basically, the Bank of International Settlements controls the world banks. The Bank of International Settlements controls the world banks. Essentially, 63 centralized banks are under their belt, including G20 countries, G7 countries. The World Economic Forum has the bigger voice on the matter. The International Monetary Fund is pretty much on the same scale of the Bank of International Settlements. Will the SEC appeal? Possibility. Will their appeal get accepted? No. Hell no. Woodhouse is the Antichrist who controls money, power, greed, pretty much every world. Miles, we all thank you for your intelligence and facts. Everything is falling into place. Patience is all we need. Facts. Let's go free and forever. Absolutely. When will XRP pump in September? JP, thank you so much for the $300 donation. JP, thank you so much for the $300 donation on this live show. Absolutely amazing. That donation is going to go to the CMF hedge fund. Absolutely amazing. Let's go, JP, for the $300 donation. When will XRP pump in September? Well, here's the thing. These 30-day period and 60-day period needs to pass. When does I start need my XRP? Is that the biggest? Yes, XRP. All facts. JP, CMF, nice donation. Let's go. Yeah, honestly, very good donation, JP, to the CMF hedge fund. Miles, you are in London. Are you near the riots? No. Facts. The world is going down. Yep. You've got it, Miles. They want us to ask. Facts. I agree with you 100%. Yes. Let's go with us. I don't understand how they will be able to use RLUSD on ETH network, and how would the XRP drops get burned? Okay. The reason why Ripple is launching their RLUSD on Ethereum as well, two reasons. So, essentially, David Schwartz, a very long time ago, did an interview where he essentially said that the XRP ledger wants to operate like Google. They said that the XRP ledger is going to become the Google of blockchains, where everything is attached to it. The same way Google search engine is pretty much attached to the entire internet, is what's going to be happening on that basis. So the XRP ledger is going to be like the Google search engine of blockchains, where everything gets attached to it. So that's the first reason why it's also listing on essentially Ethereum. Second is they want to bring people over from Ethereum. Now, a lot of people argue the point that Ethereum has a lot more user base than XRP, which it does in reality because they're battling out some major crisis. But in reality, they're actually attaching themselves to Ethereum to bring people over to the XRP ledger. And once people start coming over to the XRP ledger, they'll realize the XRP ledger is faster and cheaper and pretty much better on every side. That's why they're doing it. The two reasons, essentially. Possible price for XRP ETH. XRP ETH. Miles, you are usually on point. Let's go, Scott. Black Lives Matter, basically blacks turning on whites in the US, Hindus turning on Muslims, and India, whites turning on Asians in the UK. Pure chaos around the world. Yep. Ironically, it's all happening at the same time. Exact same time, we're about to go into CBDCs, regulations, and social credit systems. God talented and blessed leader. Let's go, Scott. Amazing. Denise, let's go. XRP expensive today. Let's go with else. Miles, isn't XRP meant to be the banks and institutions because they got regulated? Yes, they can be used, but we still don't have regulations. 3 green lights need to pass. For XRP, I've said this since 2023. Since 2023, I've said that there needs to be 3 green lights for XRP. First green light for XRP, I've always said, needs to be the case. The case needs to go away. Now, we are in that 30-day period where Ripple's supposed to make the payment of $125 million, and the 60-day period where the SEC gets to essentially appeal this case. So these two periods need to pass. So first green light for XRP is the case. I've said this since 2023. And I said the case will end in 2024. In 2023, I said this. Second green light for XRP is regulations. Why is regulations important to XRP rather than any other crypto project? Well, because the clientele that Ripple is aiming for is banks and institutions rather than anything else. So banks and institutions need regulations. They need that safety net before they can enter the crypto markets if they want to be used. So second green light for XRP is regulations. Third green light is actually the adoption, where the banks and institutions can actually use it. So first green light for XRP has always been the case, which we just got. Second green light is regulations, which is what we're going through. Third green light is the adoption. And without the regulation, it's going to be quite difficult because they're going to be operating gray areas. Not saying that they can't operate. Some can, depending on jurisdictions that have various regulations going on. But our full-on regulations will be better for a better adoption rate. So first green light has always been case, which we just got. Second green light is regulations, which is what we're going through. And third green light is adoption. So XRP always needed 3 green lights. Think about it as a Formula 1 race. You know, before the race starts, you need that you need the green lights to go off the race. You're an CMF OG. If you remember the white background in Miles' old live shows, Miles probably won't even remember. How many trust? I remember the white backgrounds. How many trust wallets can I have? You can have a million different types of trust wallets. Doesn't matter. If RLUSD is on ETH, will it be cheap, or ETH prices to move RLUSD around? Should be cheaper. So will XRP start pumping after 60 days? It should start seeing some movements after 60, because it'll pass that essentially the part where they can appeal against it. Now, also, to go through some other things. Let's see where we were. We were at options. Now, regarding when do you think regulations will come? When do I think regulations will come? Well, we're going through regulations right now. We're genuinely going through regulations. The UK is going into regulations. The MICA has already implemented regulations. Will come to an end in 2025. Hong Kong has some regulations. We'll have more in place as we go throughout this year. And this is the year that the world starts, essentially going into digital, is what I've always said. This 2024 is when the world starts moving over into a digital era. This is the year of paperworks, basically. So many countries have introduced regulations this year, and some countries have introduced their CBDCs, and countries that don't release their CBDCs this year will be releasing their CBDCs next year. We're not that far off from regulations, full-on regulations or CBDCs. And pretty much this year is the startings of all these regulations. By 2025, we'll be in a lot more deep end of regulations and deep end of CBDCs on the stage. By 2026, we'll be more into CBDCs. 2027 is when the bank executives from Lloyds Bank, HSBC Bank, Barclays Bank, Santander Bank, and NatWest Bank have all stated that there'll be no more bank branches on the high streets. By 2027, there's going to be no more bank branches on the high streets, on the streets, no more banks. There'll be the main headquarters, but the bank branches will be all closed. They started closing banks in COVID times, just for perspective. They got ready from COVID until now for the implementation of CBDCs, when the World Bank did their first testings and then COVID started. Coincidence or coordinated? Coordinated. It's always coordinated. Anything involving the financial sector, governments or corporations, massive corporations, it's always a coordinated move. It's never the idea of a coincidence. No such thing at all. Coincidence are small things. If anything small happens in this world, coincidence. If anything happens on a large scale, coordinated. Always remember that. Options exchange. Options exchange, CBO, resubmits their applications to list options on spot Bitcoin exchange traded funds, ETFs. With the details. Here's the details on it. Options Exchange, CBO, has updated and resubmitted its applications to list options on spot Bitcoin exchange traded funds, ETFs. Today, CBO's sudden resubmission of its application to offer spot Bitcoin ETFs has caused essentially a massive financial circles, a massive consternation. The initial filings filed in January was a brief 15-page document proposing a rule change to list options on ETF holdings spot Bitcoin. But the new filings has expanded to 44 pages and includes specific details about the recommended ETFs from firms such as Fidelity, ARK Invest, 21Shares, BlackRock, and among others. Bloomberg intelligence analyst James essentially noted earlier in the day that he expects spot Bitcoin ETFs options to become available in the fourth quarter of 2024. Also, James noted that the deadline for the SEC's decision is around September 21st, while additional steps needed to be taken by the options clearing corporations, the OCC in other words, and the Commodities Futures Trading Commission, CFTC. Shortly after the CBO's reapplication, other exchanges, including Miami International Securities Exchange, MIX, essentially Pearl, and Box Exchange, withdrew their applications to list spot Bitcoin ETF options as well. Despite this, James and Bloomberg intelligence analyst Eric downplayed the significance of these pullbacks, stressing that their major exchanges such as Nasdaq, NYCE, CBOE still have active filings. James speculated that the SEC's feedbacks may have influenced CBOE's decision to refile, noted that the expanded filings addresses concerns and positions, limits, and market manipulation. The new filings appear to be a response to the SEC's feedback and indicates engagements rather than outright denial, Seaford said. So the SEC right now is looking at resubmitted applications for CBOE to be listed in Bitcoin options. These Bitcoin options are coming out of BlackRock, Fidelity, ARK Invest, 21Shares. And Miami's exchange has decided to withdraw their Bitcoin options applications. However, the Nasdaq, NYCE, and CBOE are still active on their filings, which is the ones that matter. Nobody cares about the Miami exchange in any sort of a way. Now, Thailand. These are indications of how close we are getting to that whole regulation stage. Thailand, for example. Thailand's SEC launches a sandbox to boost digital asset innovation and market growth. A digital sandbox is where essentially multiple crypto platforms get tested out before they get implemented on a wider scale. The Thailand Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, launched a new regulatory sandbox focused on digital assets. The initiative is designed to enable the testings and developments of digital asset services within a controlled and flexible regulatory framework. The SEC is innovating interested practices and parties to participate, aiming to drive innovation in Thailand's capital markets. Digital asset services targeted for testing. The SEC sandbox especially targets 6 categories of digital asset services: exchanges, brokers, dealers, and fund managers, advisors, and custodial wallet providers. Participants in the sandbox must integrate their innovations into the development of a digital asset service, either within a Thai capital market or in coordination with the money market regulatory agency sandbox. These services are expected to align with the SEC's vision of promoting a more dynamic and innovative financial sector in the country. Eligibility criteria for participants. To ensure the sandbox's success, the SEC has established eligibility criteria for participants. These include assessments of capital adequacy, operational systems, management structures, and other relative factors. The SEC's focus is on ensuring that all participants are well prepared to operate within the sandbox regulatory framework. The agency has emphasized that the participants must clearly define the scope of their services to minimize the risk during testing periods. Additionally, the SEC will closely monitor the implementation of these services to ensure they meet their standards. Sandbox duration and extension options. The sandbox period is initially set for 1-year period from date of approval. However, participants may request an extension if they require more time to refine their services. This flexibility is intended to allow participants to fully explore and develop their digital asset offerings without compromising the integrity of financial markets. The SEC's initiative marks a forward step towards a more digital asset towards enhancing the regulation and development of digital assets in Thailand. By fostering innovation within a controlled environment, the sandbox aims to bring forward new and improved financial services benefiting both the industry and consumers. A digital sandbox is definitely a forward step for any nation. Hong Kong has a digital sandbox where they test out, essentially crypto platforms before they implement on a large scale. So does the UK. They have a essentially digital sandbox. The UK actually shares a digital sandbox with the US. And the EU has a digital sandbox. Singapore has a digital sandbox. Dubai has the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia. The list goes on. Japan, Australia, Canada, and the list just goes on with the amount of digital sandbox around the world. All these countries are in crypto, but they claim some of them they're not. Now, Hong Kong lawmakers Here's more indication of how the world is transforming into a digital era. Hong Kong lawmakers calls for bank reform to support crypto and Web3 companies. Johnny Ning, a Hong Kong lawmaker, has called on the government and banks to ease restrictions on banking services for crypto and Web3 firms, highlighting the ongoing challenges these companies face in upcoming or opening local banks. In a post, a member of the Hong Kong Legislative Council emphasized that the difficulties are hindering their ability to conduct business effectively. Johnny suggested that virtual banks should expand their services to complement traditional banks and proposed that Hong Kong should enhance its virtual banks to handle virtual assets. They're getting the banking systems ready in Hong Kong, in line with the government's Web3 development objectives. Johnny remarks after the findings of a recent survey which collected feedback from other 120 cryptos and Web3 firms entering Hong Kong since 2022 was announced, the Hong Kong Legislative Council. According to the local newspaper Sing Tao Daily, the survey revealed that approximately 95% of these companies had attempted to open local bank accounts, with 70% of respondents indicating that the banks required their shareholders or directors to make multiple visits to Hong Kong. Only 20% of the companies managed to open accounts with the 2 to 5 months, while 54% reported needing at least 6 months or more to complete the process. Johnny's concerns also echoes essentially those of fellow lawmakers. Duncan Chi, who previously criticized the excessively stringent regulations imposed on crypto exchanges seeking licensings, Chi argued that these rules have deteriorated major global exchanges from entering the Hong Kong markets. Meanwhile, Hong Kong's financial regulators are moving forward with plans to regulate the stablecoin industry as well. They have essentially proposed a licensing regime for stablecoin issuers following a consultation that concluded in February, where most respondents supported regulatory fiat reference stablecoins FRS issuers. This initiative is a part of Hong Kong's broader legislative efforts to transform and regulate its digital sector, as stated in the joint announcements from Hong Kong's Monetary Authority, HKMA, Treasury Bureau, and Financial Services. Hong Kong is getting ready for connecting the traditional banking systems to the blockchain era. Those are more indications of the world is going into a digital era, where the traditional banking system is getting attached to blockchain technology under regulations in Hong Kong. Now, here is also some news on Grayscale. So Grayscale has multiple crypto funding, essentially funding accounts, portfolios, let's say. So Grayscale has some new ones going on. Grayscale Investments unveils new AI and blockchain crypto trusts. Grayscale Investment has recently introduced 2 groundbreaking cryptocurrency investments trust, Grayscale Bitsona Trust and Grayscale Sui Trust. These trusts are designed to offer accredited investors exposure to a rapidly evolving sectors of decentralized artificial intelligence, AI, and scalable blockchain technology. The announcement from Grayscale signifies a strategic expansion of its diverse portfolio. Grayscale's Bitsona Trust Tau and Grayscale's Sui Trust Sui are established as a Delaware grant trusts, each holding their respective underlying assets passively. The Bitsona Trust focuses on Tau token, which incentivizes the developments of open source AI within the Bitsona protocol. The Sui Trust, on the other hand, is centered on the Sui token, integral to the Sui blockchain. This blockchain is designed to facilitate scalable decentralized applications, leveraging an advanced programming language and innovative architecture. As is the case for Grayscale's suite of more than 20 public quoted investment vehicles, the Grayscale team intends to attempt to have shares of Grayscale's Bitsona Trust and Grayscale's Sui Trust quoted on the secondary markets as well, stated Grayscale Investments. Grayscale Investments' new opportunities for accredited investors. Both trusts are set to gather assets through private placements offerings accessible to accredited investors. Grayscale highlighted this and said that these trusts come with a 2.5% annual fee and no upfront or performance fees, aligning with Grayscale's strategy to broaden its range of digital assets in terms of investment products. Grayscale Investments has long been a pioneer in delivering cutting-edge investment solutions, and Bitsona and Sui Trust are no different. These new trusts aim to capture the rising interest in decentralized AI and scalable blockchain technologies. Bitsona Trust is particularly intriguing due to its focus On decentralized AI, the Bitsona protocol promotes the development of an open source AI model, rewarding contributors to the Tau token. This strategy seeks to build a decentralized network of AI models that can learn from each other, improving the overall efficiency and quality of AI developments. The Sui Trust emphasizes that Sui blockchain Sui is crafted to support scalable, decentralized applications, utilizing a unique programming language and architecture to create a robust platform for developers. This position is an appealing choice for investors looking to explore advanced blockchain technology. Grayscale Investments plans to seek secondary market listings for both the Bitsona and Sui Trust. Although the company notes that regulatory approval is not guaranteed, investors should be prepared for possibility of long-term holdings. We are excited to add Bitsona and Sui to our other product suites and believe that Bitsona is at the center of growth of decentralized AI, while Sui is redefining the smart contract blockchain, said Sharik, the Grayscale's head of products and research. Grayscale Investments leading innovation in crypto. The introduction of Bitsona and Sui Trust underscores Grayscale's investments leadership in the cryptocurrency investment arena. These new trusts reflects the firm's commitment to offering innovative solutions that meet the evolving interest of investors in decentralized AI and scalable blockchain technology. The Bitsona protocol focuses on decentralized AI is particularly noteworthy by incentivizing the developments of open source AI models with the Tau token. Bitsona aims to create a collaborative environment where AI models can learn from one another. This collaborative approach has the potential to significantly advance the field of AI by pooling resources and knowledge from diverse contributors. So it seems that Grayscale's focus is going towards AI technology, and the two projects that they've chosen is essentially Bitsona, which is Tau, and Sui, which is SUI, the ticker. So TAO ticker, and the other one, CUI, is what Grayscale is fixated on right now for AI technology. But not only that, but they're also fixated on adding it to their portfolios. So if you are in those crypto projects, good for you. And if you're not, don't buy them. Research them, see if you want to go for them, see if you don't. Grayscale can drop these projects somewhere down the line as well. Keep that in mind. So just look into them, do research on them, and if you want to go forward with them, your choice. Not financial advice in any sort of way. But Grayscale's aim right now is towards Sui and Tau. And Grayscale owns quite a large portfolio of quite a lot of crypto assets. And Grayscale is the one that starts the ETFs, just to point that out as well. Grayscale was the one that sued the SEC for an ETF. So whatever they're holding their portfolios can later on turn into ETFs somewhere down the line. Possibility. Let's see where we were on the comment section. Let's go back to the comment section. Miles, where were you when I first blindly entered into this area? Miles, where were you when I first blindly entered into this arena? I could have been a rich old guy, and I'm glad I am an OG from the original CMF sign on. Let's go, Scott. Can I use same trust wallet on a different device? Yes, you can. I'm investing in Miles. Let's go, Scott. It was a bullet pointed on crypto real estate CBDCs. Miles, CMF hedge fund? Yes, we have a CMF hedge fund. Starting soon. We still got a while to go. Can crypto exchanges control you when CBDCs kicks in? Yes, they're all centralized exchanges. XRP ETF, is it going to be sweet, or am I interested in knowing the possible initial price? Yes, XRP is going to be sweet, yes. Regarding that ETF, it's going to be very good, a positive thing. Can crypto exchanges control you when CBDCs kick in? Yes, they can. Centralized exchanges. Thanks, Miles. I have to go enjoy the weekend. Shelly, let's go. See you tomorrow sometimes. You, Shelly. Miles, what is next for XRP? Well, what is next? There's these two time periods of 30 days and 60 days needs to pass. Is it true when RL or UST is going to start in August and September? Well, we'll have to see if they're going to reach their timelines, deadlines. It's what they're rumored to be starting around August and September, basically. So we'll have to see if they're going to stick to that timeline or not, because it hasn't been introduced as a timeline yet. It's just rumor based, essentially. So this is the next news to go through. It's regarding taxation of cryptocurrencies, which is a big topic for a lot of people inside of cryptocurrencies when it comes to, do I pay my taxes, and how does taxes work? The IRS has decided to introduce some updates. The IRS updates the draft of crypto reporting forms for US taxpayers. The United States Internal Revenue Services, IRS, has updated its draft form for taxpayers to report digital asset transactions starting 2026. So by the looks of it, the IRS is going to be looking into you around about 2026. The notice, the IRS, so on August 8th, the IRS released a draft of a form called 1099-DA, the Digital Assets Proceeds Form, Broker Transaction. The form, if approved by the tax service, the form would allow the US taxpayers to report crypto transactions from 2025 by filing essentially their deadlines in April in 2026. Compared to the draft released in April, the latest proposed 1099-DA removed a box asking taxpayers to identify the broker type for digital asset transactions. It eliminated asking filers for their precise time of day the transaction occurred rather than just the date. The draft also removed spaces for taxpayers to report wallet addresses and transaction IDs. The IRS Commissioner Danny said that the updated form would provide more clarity for taxpayers and give them another tool to help them accurately report their digital asset transactions. K&L Gates attorney Drew said on X, the latest version of the Form 1099-DA was a massively improved, less burdensome, and required considerably less data reporting. These appear to be welcome changes that the CCI and industry advocated for, said essentially Jay Kim, Chief Legal and Policy Officer of Crypto Council for Innovation, in August 9th X post. The IRS invited users to submit comments on the draft form within 30 days. Many in the industry criticized the April version as an overly strict, requiring reporting at the time of transactions and a wide range of activities. In June, the tax services released a final draft of this tax broker reporting requirements, saying that the decentralized exchanges and self-custody wallets would not be subject to these rules. Welfare also noted that at the time the requirements were aimed at closing the tax gap by stopping essentially the fillers from hiding taxable income. So IRS has changed their regulations slightly, but it isn't something that has been implemented on essentially in the law yet. It's something that they're still looking over, but they've eased on upon the rules and regulations for how much cryptocurrencies you're holding and the time of transactions and so on. They're easing on asking you too many questions on your cryptocurrencies. Obviously, those rules will get stricter as we go along. There's two options. There's two ways they're doing it, okay? Now, we'll find out as we go along how they're doing it. The first way they're probably going to do it is as we go along, they're going to make it stricter and stricter on the IRS. The IRS is going to make it stricter and stricter on cryptocurrency policies. They're going to be very loose at the beginning to get you involved and self-report, and then later on they'll make the rules and regulations stricter and stricter as they go along, because now they know that you hold cryptocurrencies and so on. They'll have more information on you as they go along. The other way around is they're going to be very loose on the regulations because a lot of wealthy people hold cryptocurrencies, and obviously wealthy people don't like to report too much. So there's two ways that could go. So are they getting the IRS ready for the wealthy individuals in the cryptocurrency space not to report too much on their taxings? Before we go, let's go to the comment section. Is it true? Okay. COVID was planned for CBDCs, pretty much. Since I joined you live and learned about CBDCs, I saw them as not as a SCS. Yep, I saw them as not as bad as they could be. JP, let's go. So we have also reached the endings of tonight's live show as well. Why do we wait for the 30 days and 60 days? 60 days is for essentially SEC to be able to appeal. 30 days is for Ripple to pay the money. Miles, that might mean that the US regulations will likely be implemented after or close to 2024 tax year. Pretty much is what's indication as well. Good catch. Now, we have also, everything is pretty much an indication of how close we are getting to regulations. Genuinely. We are also getting we're also at the end of this live show as well. So we're pretty much at the end of this live show, and just the gist of what we talked about: IRS updates on crypto taxations. We went through on tonight's live show. We talked about Grayscale's portfolio on AI technology on Suing Tao. We talked about Thailand's SEC launching a sandbox to boost digital innovation. We talked about essentially Hong Kong's banking systems, connecting traditional banking systems to cryptocurrencies is on the way. We talked about the options exchange CBOR resubmitting their ETF applications. We talked about MiCA regulations. We're going to Tether's perspective. We went through essentially the UK's FCA clamping down on crypto regulations. We talked about JP Morgan Chase introducing AI technology to their 60,000 employees. We talked about the SEC's latest sanctions on crypto VC companies, and they're shifting their focus to VC companies. We talked about Ripple's beginnings on testings on new stablecoin. We talked about UK government pumping £32 million into AI projects, 200 organizations roughly. We talked about also the city of Santa Monica introducing a Bitcoin office. So those are all the topics we have for tonight's live show. If you enjoyed this live show, you can tune into this live show every single night on X, on YouTube Live. Starts around 11:25 p.m. onwards, UK time, so 11:30. You can tune in as well, should be starting then. If you enjoyed this live show, drop a like. And the name of this live show is Crypto Mile. The name of this live show is CMF, which stands for Crypto Miles Family. We also have a Telegram group as well. Anybody's more than welcome to join the Telegram group of this live show. Amazing place to be in. Everybody's very respectful, and it's free. It's always going to remain free. It's been free since day one, to be fairly honest. It's going to always remain free. So the link is on YouTube. If you're watching us on YouTube, the link is also on X. If you're watching us on X, just click the link, and the link will be there on my X profile. And also to essentially the partners that we have, check out Bing X Exchange. They will give you $100 just for doing your KYC. The link is on one of my tweets from Bing X Exchange. And if you want a Tangent wallet to secure your assets, you can get a Tangent wallet and get 10% discounts also by using the code CryptoMiles. So those are two partners of this live show as well. My partner and the live show's partner. And so check out Bing X Exchange. And check out Tangent Wallet as well. If you enjoyed this live show, drop a follow, drop a like, tune into it every single night. And thank you so much to everybody that's been also in the comment section. Thank you so much to everybody that's been liking and retweeting this live show as well on X. And turn on your bell notifications as well to get informed when I do go live. But I go live every single night. This is episode 123. But they won't appeal, right? If they do, we'll get rejected. Good night, Miles, and all CMF. Thank you for the news and great live. JP, thank you so much for the donation of $300. Absolutely amazing for the CMF hedge fund as well. And see you tomorrow, but at the same time as usual. Free and Feather, good night, Miles and CMF. Free and Feather, see you tomorrow, sometimes as usual as well. When will CBDCs fully come in for every country? 2024, some countries have released. 2025, more countries. By 2026, we're fully in. 2026, 2027. Still confusing. XRP still 52. It's the 30-day period. Look, it's 30 days for Ripple to pay the fine, and then 60 days for a chance for the SEC to appeal. These 2 dates pass, we're good to go. But as we go along, these weeks will get better and better. Why should they appeal? If they appeal, will be rejected. Yes, if they appeal, it will be rejected. But the issue is, when they do appeal, we know it's going to get rejected. But the other 1 billion people inside the cryptocurrency space won't know. Essentially, the CMF members know it's going to get rejected. But there are so many people inside the XRP community space, or so many people inside the crypto space that are just misinformed, and essentially they're misinformed, and they, very confused on the matter as well. The people that are essentially below, it's going to get rejected. I know it's going to get rejected, and everybody in the CMF knows it's going to get rejected. But other people don't. And that's where the confusion starts. That's why I've always said, if people tune into this live show, they'll have a better understanding about the crypto space around them. So after the 60 days, a pump, well, it could be during that 60 days as well. Consider both outcomes. But Miles, why will it get rejected? The reason why it will get rejected is because it got rejected once. And as long as Ripple doesn't repeat the same mistake it did a very long time ago, it should be on the, which it never will either. It's on the right side. Do you have a source? Yeah, the previous time they tried to appeal, got rejected. And the SEC won't go after it again. All governments are working together to bring in CBDCs. Exactly. Good night, Miles. I'll see you tomorrow. Bone Crusher, see you tomorrow, sometimes as usual. I am very grateful for your knowledge, brother, and effort. Billo, thank you so much for the kind words, brother. May Allah bless you and the rest of your family as well. Billo, thanks so much for the kind words. I'll see you tomorrow, brother. Same time as usual. I will see everybody tomorrow. Same timing as usual. Everybody have a great day or a good night, depending on where you are around the world. CMF, I'll see everybody tomorrow, same time as usual. Everybody have a great day or a good night, depending on where you are around the world. And thank you so much to everybody that's been liking and retweeting this live show as well on X and on YouTube. See you tomorrow night. Pablo, see you tomorrow, same time as usual as well. Thanks, Miles. Let's go, Scott. Scott, see you tomorrow, same time as usual as well. I'll see everybody tomorrow, same time as usual. Everybody have a great day or a good night, depending on where you are around the world. CMF, see you tomorrow, same time as usual. Follow and subscribe if you already haven't. Okay. See you tomorrow.